it up, you just gotta hand me the rock.
Of the competition for what you could consider anything other than the final stage has been knocked out. It's now down to our top two. A little bit of love there at the end. Right? I'm okay with that.
I mean, you even heard it from Neon right there in the interview, right? Is that those two teams have faced off against each other so many different times over the entirety of the calendar year, let alone the past few months.
Yeah.
They are the number two teams out of China, regardless. Where number one and number two sits, that's all for you to decide at home, regardless of the matter. There's a lot of good love in between those two.
Yeah, well, we'll take a look back at the bracket in case you're just joining us for the first time here, whether that is in person or in the stream, to show you where things stand with the current competition, because we are now done with the semi-finals portion of the matchup. I don't have it available visually, but I can explain it to you. Pretty much yesterday, day two, all 3-0s. Didn't think that was going to happen today. The first match of the day, we see LG go out to Godlike the full series, but in a 7-0 loss at the end of it all, and then back up to 3-0s. Apparently, for the second semifinals match, now we have the top two teams in the world about to battle it out for the top prize of $400,000. The trophy. Also, have you guys pointed these out yet? Have you showed these? I'm just gonna. Whoop.
Please.
Oh. There it is.
I don't know.
Have you seen these?
No, they're amazing.
They also get all of these rings to go along with the championship title, as well as the trophy. And oh wait, where? There we are.
There it is.
Standing. This is gorgeous. Do you see this?
Oh my God! क्या ring देखो इसका कितना बढ़िया लग रहा है. Championship वाला. Diamond वाइमंड लगा के और गोल्ड के साथ मस्त लग रहा है.
I'm gonna work on that, but I also have a special treat for you guys. Yeah? Yeah, I have a surprise interview ready to go with F-Dot, with a very, very special person. I'm excited to see what they have to say. F-Dot, who you got?
क्या है भाई एक VR का टूर्नामेंट.
Hey, what's up? Welcome down here. We're hanging out at DreamHack. Obviously, we've got the big Snapdragon Pro Series stuff going on. This is the World Championships. But when it comes down to gaming, it's all about the community and the culture. And right next to me, I have a man who's in Call of Duty itself. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
क्या share करना? क्या बात है?
Pleasure to be here, taking in the championships. My name is Chad Muggles.
नहीं वो नागा भाई ने शेयर अच्छा नहीं नागा भाई ने किसी और का शेयर
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Warzone, and Call of Duty Mobile. It's kind of surreal because
नहीं नागा भाई ने तेजस्वी का शेयर किया है. तो since I'm not following Tejashri, I cannot share that. Otherwise share का option आता. देखो सचिन भाई वाला आ गया.
सही है.
It's a total pleasure. I grew up a gamer my whole life, and to be starring in Call of Duty is I gotta pinch myself every single day. It's a bucket list item for sure. And here's the deal, you know, we play our games at home, but then we come here. Look at this, man. What's your take on this whole show that we got going on? I gotta be honest,
भाई विनिंग प्राइस लगता है 3 करोड़ है क्या? 3 करोड़ से ज्यादा है.
Super intense.
नहीं 3 करोड़ से कम ही है. कितना है? $10,000 है ना? कितना है?
Unbelievable setup.
$10,000 ना?
The fans have turned out in spades as they should. All right, so we have Godlike out of India, and they're going against the Chinese squad. Who takes the worlds?
नहीं यार जाता है. 2 CR के प्लस है यार.
I wouldn't put money on this prediction, but
Bobby क्यों उधर लिखा था तो Bobby.
I mean, the Wolves are kind of cleaning up from what I understand, right? They're in trouble.
तो $1 lakh
nice stuff, man. Any last words you want to say to the folks at home before we say goodbye?
$1 lakh
yeah, Call of Duty Mobile players around the world.
$10 lakh लिखा है उसने.
Running as Alex, those that do, I love to see it.
अच्छा $10 lakh है ना?
Call of Duty Mobile World Championships coming live and direct. Alex Echo 3-1 reporting for
$10 lakh.
Thanks again, guys. Just a reminder, it takes a village. Every person needs to work, and this guy's certainly one of the hard workers. Thanks again for your time. Back to you off the desk.
Mama, welcome to the stream. Final match, yes.
I was watching you fangirl a little bit
अगर
here.
नार्को MP खेलता तो
एक्टिंग
करके बोलो.
For the moments of the voice lines, you know.
तुम Godlike
हम कर रहे हैं.
उसके बाद.
I can't be the only one. Like I bet you that Shift is probably back there too.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these fucking motherfuckers assholes. Those you know Bobby the Bots kind of people. They were saying too much last year
And
while they were cheating, they were having very high ping. But still, we stretched it a bit. But this time, we cleaned their asshole also. I mean, seriously, man. These potatoes are like, these guys are born in a different,
he looked like a rock star.
planet, and they should delete
absolutely, it's just amazing. That interview was beautiful. I gotta say, congrats to him. He always does such a great job. I gotta love it.
I mean, these luminosity
The
guys.
team's been killing
They
it
were
here all weekend
trolling us
long.
last year.
But the weekend
This year,
is
they put their
almost
own penis
done,
in their
but
own
not
ass.
before we crown our champion of the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship. Who will
हिंदी में बोलेंगे तो पलटा
We're
के
going to
खुद
find
का
out,
गान
but
में ले
not
लिया.
quite yet. We need a little bit of time to get our players rested, reset, and ready to go
अरे कहाँ
with
हो
how much
सुंदरी?
is
ए
on the
सुंदरी?
line. So it's time for the
अरे
final
काक
break
बुलबुल.
in the show, and when we return, the World Championship will come to its epic conclusion. We'll see you then.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So this is the gun. The GoPro is gonna be facing you.
No pressure.
Yes, sir.
No pressure. Just be great.
और ये आ गए.
Is it too tight? I can loosen it up.
It's definitely not loose. I can tell you. Hey, this doesn't output like accuracy and shit, does it? I feel like optical. Oh, this is actually pretty fire.
Wow, my God, OP acting, my friend.
That's exactly how it is.
Boogeyman, my friend.
Flagging everybody.
सुंदरी.
Flagging the shit out of everybody. Just stop.
अरे ये निगाह क्या है?
Reload. I was wondering what that was. I thought it was a grenade. I wanted a little. That's it.
भाई ये क्या करना चाह रहा है भाई? ये आ गया ना. ये लौंडा देसी पी के आया लगता है. मुंह पे लिपा पोती करके.
Outer perimeter is on me. If we get flanked, that's my fault. I guarantee you it won't happen.
ये तो छपरी पना चालू हो गया भाई. फुल छपरी पना चल रहा है. फुल छपरी पना चल रहा है. फुल छपरी पना.
I'm sending them all back.
हाँ डिस्कॉर्ड आ जाओ सचिन भाई. आ जाओ सचिन भाई डिस्कॉर्ड आ जाओ. नो प्रॉब्लम. बॉबी द बॉट छक्का न 6 नंबर छक्का. अरे 6 नंबर पूरा छक्का साला.
Go back to your spot. Go back to your spot.
Mission complete.
इसके तो टकले पे पसीना तक आ गया भाई.
I was going crazy. I went crazy.
They got hacks on.
ऐसे
Check. God damn it. Yeah. I'm not gonna stop sweating for the rest of the day.
अरे भाई ऐसा लग रहा है कि एक दूसरे के लिपापोती करके आ गए. ये तो दिखाई भी नहीं दे रहे थे. इनको अलग से लाइट देके फोकस करवाना पड़ा.
Pro Series powered by Samsung Galaxy is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra.
सचिन भाई अरे ज्वाइन तो कर सकते हो ना लैपटॉप से. हो जाएगा. कैसे ज्वाइन करो मतलब सिंपल ही है. डिस्कॉर्ड खोलो अपना ज्वाइन कर लो. ये वाला हो जाएगा. हाँ 6 नंबर चक्का. देखा सर देखा. सिंपल वॉइस चैट पे ज्वाइन कर लो सचिन भाई. हो जाएगा. हाँ आईफक ने बोल डाला वो. भाई गजब. 40% चूते 100% होना चाहिए था. सही बात है. हाँ बॉबी द बॉट का वो चल रहा है. बॉबी द बॉट के टीम की गार्ड मारी जा रही थी, देखो वो दिखाया जा रिप्ले कैसे। देख रहे हो, आई गजब। ये दिखाया जा रहा है कि कैसे इनकी जो धोती खोली गई थी। ठीक है, ऐसे धोती करके ये छोटी लुल्ली गैंग का वो दिखाया जा रहा था। देखो ये लोग छोटी लुल्ली गैंग से हैं। इसका नाम है लुल्ली गैंग, लुमिना सिटी नहीं, लुल्ली गैंग। भाई कैमरा मैन ओपी है भाई, साले को जूम करके दिखाया। हाँ जूम करके दिखा रहा, साले उसका टकले में वो दिख रहा है, पूरा पसीना दिख रहा है। न्यूट्रिनो ने बहुत तगड़ा खेला इसमें। अरे लुल्ली गैंग को धोया जा रहा है भाई, सीधा सीधा। अभी तो लुल्ली गैंग का हीरो भी है, पर अभी लुल्ली गैंग को धोया भी जाएगा। चल रहा होगा ना। वॉच पार्टी है माजा बॉय, वॉच पार्टी चल रहा है। उसका टूर्नामेंट है ना एमपी का, वो गॉड लाइक ने अपना इंडिया का जो है अभी चैंपियनशिप खेलेगा, फाइनल्स में पहुंच चुका है। बहुत तगड़ा खेला है गॉड लाइक ने, पूरा धो डाला है लॉन्गिनिसिटी के, ऐस कर दिया, ऐस में गांड में वो डाल दिया अपना पूरा 6 इंच का डंडा डाल दिया है सरसों का तेल लगा के, देसी वाला वो भी। उनके ऐस में गैस भर दिया है पूरा। राख मतलब पूरा धुआं धुआं कर दिया है। हाँ धुआं तो शुरू से निकल रहा था, अब तो पूरा एकदम है ही नहीं, राख बन चुका है। इनका गार्ड है नहीं, कहीं से तो हुआ आ रहा था। वो मोट मार के पसीना आ गया उसका, री गहरी ना भाई चैप्टिस कहाँ, सनी देओल डायलॉग हो जाए, 7 को मारेंगे एक साथ मारेंगे। अच्छा 7 को मारेंगे एक साथ मारेंगे, अरे हाँ एकदम एक साथ बिल्कुल। अरे देखो कैसे धोया, 7-0 कर दिया उसको, मुंह पे शॉटगन। अरे देखो इस बेचारे को वो बना दिया यार, एसिड का वो बना दिया। हाँ अभी खेलेगा, एक फाइनल मैच है, अभी खेलेगा, टाइम है। खाना पूछा भाई, गजब आ गया लौंडा। हाँ हाँ ये देखो, एक दो चीज निकला है, सीकेएम के भी और भारत माता की जय, ये दोनों पूरा स्पैम करो। दूसरा फोन कहाँ है साला, एक फोन से हो नहीं रहा, दूसरा फोन भी चाहिए होगा। ये क्या चल रहा है, क्या चल रहा है? अच्छा यही हूँ भाई। अच्छा तो वो डिस्कॉर्ड में नहीं है क्या सचिन भाई? यार सचिन भाई आ सकते हो चाहो तो। अच्छा अरे ये अब हाँ, सुपर चैट करो पहले 100 रुपए का, तभी मिलेगा। 200 का करोगे तो फिर वो भर देंगे। भेक का घमंड टूट गया। अरे भेक का घमंड अपने गांड में घुस गया है, उसने अपनी घुमा के अपने में डाल ली है भेक। गजब उसकी माँ का भेक की माँ का भूसड़ा। बाव की स्ट्रीम पे फुल स्ट्रीम टाइम आउट लग गया। अरे ले अरे उसको ढूंढ ढूंढ के पेला गया था भाई। न्यूट्रिनो ने एक नेट मारा था, एक नेट में 3 किल, समझ रहे हो? एक नेट में 3 किल। वो तो स्पेशली देखने लायक था। ये डंक्स भी बढ़िया खेल रहा था आज, बहुत मतलब गोल्डन को पूरा टीम ने दबा डाला था पूरा। कोई तो धीरे से बोल रहा है। सचिन भाई ऐसा है, सचिन भाई धीरे से। रुको रुको रुको, मैं बढ़ा लेता हूँ। सचिन भाई का मैंने कम कर रखा था सर में। हाँ मेरा कम था ना, मैं इसलिए सीधे आवाज आ रहा हूँ। मैं कम था ना। अरे 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 बाबा रे बाबा रे। बहुत सही। नहीं ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है, साउंड ठीक है, साउंड ठीक है। इधर गाना गाने का नहीं रे। वो तो सौमल्य को वो है VIP एक्सेस है, वो कुछ भी कर सकता है। तो वो मुंबई आ सकते हैं। हाँ। हम मर जाएंगे। अरे अरे हुआ क्या था सुनो। आफ्टर भाई वो एडिटिंग के लिए पूरा स्ट्रीम देख रहे थे, उसमें तुम पकड़े गए। हाँ उनका रिकॉर्डिंग रहता है ना। हाँ। अभी गरम कर रहे हैं, अभी खाएंगे, खाते खाते वो कमेंट्री करेंगे, देखना। अभी गरम दबा के गरम हो रहा है। फिर उल्स की जलानी है ना, चाइना की एम के भी करना है माँ का वो। भाईजान प्रिपरेशन के लिए टाइम दे रहा होगा। DOC आ गया, DOC। पढ़ता है पहनता है। हाँ वो है चिपकेला, कतई लोड़ू आदमी है अभी। हाँ एक ही से पुराने वाले से। पहने तो एसी फुल कर दो जरूरत पड़े, बट पहनो। चैट देखो आपका चैट दबा के चल रहा है आपका। कितना देर में खेलेगा? अभी होने वाला है शुरू, बस ज्यादा टाइम नहीं है। वो अभी तो है नहीं ना, अभी रिकॉर्डिंग खत्म नहीं होना आपका, तो बंद है। बोर्ड वाले का नया रिकॉर्डिंग किया था आपने। हाँ अरे ऑप्शन में याद कर देंगे। ऑप्शन भाई आपको आज हरकत देना होगा अगर जीत गया तो। फुटर ऑफ कर दीजिए, फुटर ऑफ कर दीजिए, फुटर ऑफ कर दीजिए। मालिक अपना तोहफा सोमले ने सही बोला है। इतना गाली दे रहे कि हजम नहीं हो रहा है इनसे। हाँ बीजू बढ़ा दिया। बॉबी के भी सेमीफाइनल उसमें खेले ना S23 अल्ट्रा में। खाना खा रहे हो? हाँ मजा है, ये बात तो सही है आपकी कि इंडिया ही जीतेगा, क्योंकि पहले से काफी लेवल अप हुआ है इंडिया का। हम्म। डॉक्टर भाई ये खाना खा रहे, ये गलत बात है। हम खा रहे हैं। कॉलेज जीतेगा बट अभी बस कीप द पॉजिटिव वाइब, दैट्स ऑल। लुमिनोसिटी जीता था ट्राइब के अगेंस्ट में। कंट्रोल जब खेल रहे थे बढ़िया था, कंट्रोल भी अच्छा है। बॉबी द बॉट को वो सीकेएम के भी हाँ शुरू हो गया। हाँ वो कोई नहीं है, वो नहीं लगेगी। भी राइट बैक हो गया, टाइमर लग गया, साला शुरू किया था अभी फिर बाद कैंसिल कर दी। घमंड टूटा, लौड़ा भी टूट गया उसका, अब वो छक्का बन गया है। वेग का घमंड नहीं टूटा है, लौड़ा भी टूटा है, वो छक्का बन गया है पूरा। तो रिवेंज मतलब जरूरत था ये। बैटमैन भाई गेम खेल रहे हो क्या? ओके ओके। हाँ या मैथ्यू ब्रो का कमेंट कहाँ पे? वर्ल्ड चैट गे CADM का। अच्छा देखते क्या लिखे अभी। हाँ दिल से बात लग। टैग नहीं होगा ना, वो टैग नहीं होगा। अरे वो इंडिया का वो बता रहा है, इंडिया का बढ़िया वो बता रहा है, मस्त। हाँ। नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये कॉपीराइट फ्री वाले हैं, टेंशन मत लो। हाँ ये सारे कॉपीराइट फ्री वाले। ऑडेम जो भी यूज करते हैं क्योंकि उनको मालूम है वॉच पार्टी करेंगे तो सब कॉपीराइट फ्री वाले ही हैं। हाँ हाँ सही बात है। किंग मैथ्यू भी बोले लेट्स सी इंडिया विन। क्यों क्या हुआ? क्वालिटी तो ठीक ही है। सेम है। हाँ सेम ही है, कास्टर्स वगैरह सब सेम ही रहेगा, कुछ चेंज नहीं होंगे। अरे मेन चैनल के चैट में भी इंडियन ही है। कोई एक लौड़ा, वो क्या था नाम है, कोई एक लौड़ू अमेरिकन लिख रहा था कि चाइना जीतेगा, उसकी माँ चोद दिया पकड़ के उधर ही। सारे इंडिया वालों ने मिलके उसकी माँ चोद दिया। शुरू होने वाला है। टाइमर लग गया, शुरू होने वाला लग गया। हाँ स्नैपड्रैगन वाले सर, प्रो सीरीज पे। हाँ इसमें जल्दी है, 1.5 मिनट बचे। यार ऐड का वो कर दो ना, ऐड को स्किप कर दो या साइड म्यूट कर दो कुछ देर के लिए, ऐड खत्म हो जाए फिर आराम से कर देना। ओके सर, ढोल बजा देता है। सब लोग उसको सब्सक्राइब करो यार, गॉडल ई स्पोर्ट्स को। तो मैं गॉडल का वो लिंक देता हूँ, सब सब्सक्राइब करो यार उसको। हाँ गॉडल ई स्पोर्ट्स का। शुरू हो गया।
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Snapdragon Pro Series, where it is time for us to crown a champion.
Atlanta.
We are live from DreamHack Atlanta, and the stage is set. The players are ready, and it is time for us to introduce our finalists. It's time for the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship, and I am so excited right now.
I don't know how I'm remaining to be intact. I was looking at my BPM before we actually came back to camera.
ट्विटर रुको यार, सही याद दिया। बॉबी द बॉट का वो रहा होगा ना।
This Eastern showdown on the main stage.
हाँ।
My resting heart rate is never under 100 because I drink too many energy drinks. Shout out Monster Energy. Yeah, I think the thing about this is this grand final is, again, all stakes are in there. First time we've seen a grand finals where there's not a double elimination bracket, so there's no advantages here. This is all about what are you able to put together, what have you been able to see from your opponents, build the best map set possible to give yourself the best chance to come out $400,000 richer.
Every Everything's on the line right now. These are the top 2 teams in the world for this year. And honestly, at this point, they have to be proud of even making it this far after we saw how tough the competition was to even get here.
Nobody had Godlike making it out of Swiss. Nobody had Godlike making it past top 8. Now they're in grand finals. They've already guaranteed themselves triple digits as far as before the comma is concerned. Are you kidding me? I mean, Godlike are absolutely here to play. I am so stoked to be able to see them go up against Wolves.
All right, well, we won't make you wait any longer for the epic finale to our 3-day weekend-long competition. It is time to get into the grand finals. F-Dot, let's do this.
How do you open this up? Trade comes out. Prevail holding the front door.
They done it.
It's perfect. And Cinderella stays in the tournament. The heavy favorites slapped out in top 4.
All the way through kitchen, the claw's been popped for Jing, and he's gonna find an open staircase. Wolves close it out to the control. They get the job done. They are grand finals bound.
How do you open this up? Trade comes out. Prevail holding the front door.
A calendar year of competition. Hundreds of teams whittled down to 2. Uncountable hours of practice, thousands of games, and one final set. Our journey culminates here. This is the Call of Duty Mobile World Championships.
हाँ चाइना वर्सेस इंडिया जाटू चाइना से ही आता है
There you have it, our 2 grand finalists, Godlike and Wolves, getting themselves ready to go and settled on the stage now as we prepare to start talking about this epic matchup. I'm ready, and I also have a couple graphics for you guys.
Ooh, I like graphics.
I do too. I like numbers. Are there numbers on this?
We've got numbers, we've got everything. Before we get into those, I want to hear your overarching thoughts. Give me big picture right now for you for these 2.
I started my COD Mobile journey watching and commentating with this goofball for India in Japan. So it is an absolute pleasure to be able to see Godlike make it this far in Worlds 23 against China's best.
True story arc, really is. At the other side of things, Wolves expected to be here. We heard it time and time again throughout the entirety of the weekend that they knew they were going to be a grand finalist, but what they didn't expect was that it wasn't going to be LG on the other side of the stage. So are they going to be prepped up, ready to go versus an India team who was not at all at CDFI? Have they done their film? Have they done their research? Are they ready to take on this team that has been lightning hot all day long?
I love that point. That's super important to consider, and here's some of the stats that I was talking about proper, weighing pretty heavily in Wolves' favor right now.
I would say you can stack them up against anybody that was here this weekend, and the numbers will never look as good as Wolves. I mean, realistically, that one Hardpoint loss was on Apocalypse. As far as their map win losses, yeah, again, one loss on Apocalypse. Throughout everything else, they have been dominant. Through so many different interviews, we have heard from so many different Wolf members that they will be to the grand finals, that they will claim the prize as the champion, much like how they were there at CDFI.
Here's the interesting thing, though. That blowout on Apocalypse actually has Godlike, even though they're 5-2 in Hardpoint, they actually scored better compared to Wolves. So even though Wolves are technically only lost that one map, they have essentially played a lot tighter maps than Godlike had throughout the entirety of Swiss, and maybe a little bit here in the bracket as you look to see who was eliminated by each squad. Godlike doing a little bit more work, considering that they had to play an extra match. Not quite getting through Swiss in the clean 3-0 fashion that Wolves did.
Still an impressive run
और
of
क्या?
both of these teams.
Wolves tribe को हरा के तो पहुंचा है.
Really strong in semis to get to these finals. They took out massive names along the way, teams that we were talking about the entire time, specifically LG, like you just mentioned, to kick off to today. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath.
To say the least, yeah, for sure. I mean, luckily enough here in Atlanta, there's no snow on the ground. Otherwise, the streets would be painted red ×2. I mean, realistically speaking, Godlike, they were really the only people here at DreamHack Atlanta watching Call of Duty Mobile that saw themselves getting to this grand final. Versus LG, a lot of us backstage and here on the desk, we're all sitting there saying, if it goes to that meltdown, there's no chance in hell that they do it. And they completely wiped the floor with LG. 7-0. Did not have that on my bingo card.
Yeah, I think the thing is, stylistically, going in, if you were to tell us that this was going to be a matchup before what we saw today, I would have said Godlike has to win every respawn because Wolves are looking so dominant in the search. But after the firing range and after the meltdown, this Godlike team, I think, has all doors open. And I think there's going to be multiple avenues for them to be able to square up versus this Wolves team. It just comes down to what is there going to be the prediction in terms of what Godlike is doing.
सुतरिया भाई बोल रहे हैं ऐड बंद कर दो आपका स्ट्रीम में ऐड आ रहा है.
The map pools are actually pretty different between these two squads. So I think the veto process is going to make major dividends happen when it comes to having an advantage in this series.
And we've seen that happen all weekend, just how important the picks and bans phase of this competition is, even though it's not the part where they are playing. It determines how it will all play out. So as we're looking at these two, just give me what are your some expectations when it does come to that portion of the game?
This is probably going to be some of the most fundamentally sound
manual add out कर दिया, on कर दिया.
LG matchups, but you are dealing with a payload of individuals that have spent more than the calendar year playing with one another. The trust is going to be there. The search and destroy is going to be dirty, to say the least. The hardpoint is going to be tight. The pressure is at an all-time high.
I think the thing, too, just kind of looking at how this Wolves team, we kind of followed along without their Swiss. We were really impressed with what Peg and Zai were able to do for this team, just kind of outslaying. But in that last series, Neon was all over the place. He wasn't missing shots with the scope, both in the search and in the particular respawn. So there's another element now being thrown into the mix here for this Wolves team. We're not just looking to see will the SMGs just run through Godlike. I think we have a new threat on the map here with Neon being as good as he is, and also showcasing his ability to rock the scope in both sides of game.
करके कोई एक बंदा है वो खाली ये मुझे लग रहा है टीजे होगा सर टीजे होगा अपना टी कर रहा है बैठ के
Wolves definitely have the pack to at least go against their prey, but Godlike are no slouches themselves.
Well, as we get ready,
अभी जीतेगा अभी जीता नहीं है कोई जीतेगा अभी तो फाइनल चालू होगा
for the grand finals, and I want to hear from everybody in chat as well as we get the picks and bans up here on the screen as well. Who do you think's taking it home?
खैर hope for the best.
It's really tough because the thing
दोनों टीम ही बहुत तगड़ा है. Let's see. दोनों अच्छी अच्छी टीम है. Wolves भी बहुत तगड़ा टीम है actually चाइना की तरफ से.
Or Chinese teams rather are the best search and destroy teams at this competition, so there's an advantage there. But let's take a look to see what's been happening in terms of the picks and bans overall. I think there's going to be an avenue where Godlike can actually take both hard points, especially seeing it as a Takeoff and a Hacienda. Both maps that they've been pretty good at over the course of the weekend, let alone in the history of them playing through stage 4. Whereas we really haven't seen Wolves play either Takeoff or Hacienda outside of just one time each.
Yeah, I mean, the hard points are definitely going to have to be where this Godlike roster does get the job done. Much like how we were talking about it backstage, that is going to remain true both with the Takeoff and the Hacienda. Takeoff is going to be a great venue of success when it comes down to Godlike. They played it 4 times this weekend. The only loss that they had was in the semifinal. They lost it by 12 points versus Luminosity.
Map selection चल रहा, map selection चल रहा.
Decision making to understand where they need to be. The rotations were foreseen. Team shots and operator usage as well was at an all-time high.
Looking at the search and destroy, this was kind of anticipated. We've seen Godlike continually.
Control आएगा अभी चल रहा है. Control का next है. Control का next है.
Wolves have not liked playing slot, so those are both out of the picture. Map 2 being firing range, that's where all the.
हाँ best of 7 है ना, last वाला best of 7 है. Standoff and Raid दोनों ही बढ़िया है. Control में दोनों ही बढ़िया map हैं.
Their entire history playing through this year, and we know what they can do on meltdown. So that being a potential map 7 after what we saw Godlike do could be really fun.
I love how we already kind of brought up the point just about search and destroy and Chinese teams as a whole.
Raid में Godlike ज़्यादा अच्छा है raid में.
Game mode when it comes down to control the hybrid in between respawn and objective. And it's very interesting to see
Takeoff Wolves का मैप है सर. 3 काड़ा में बढ़िया खेलेगा Godlike.
And to also have the raid, the 2 controls in the best of 7. you already know you're going up against a very good search and destroy team in Wolves.
Yeah.
They are also the #1 control team out of China. This is going to be a very tough matchup stylistically, no matter how you want to spin it.
And there are no vetoes for the control because there is no veto advantage coming into single elimination. So this was Standoff selected by Godlike. Pardon me, actually it was Raid selected by Godlike and Standoff selected by Wolves. So looking at the order of how these maps are going to play out, I really truly believe that in these first 4, Godlike has to take 2, which sounds like a pretty easy thing to say. Take 50% of the maps you play. But the thing about this is, I don't love how these line up for Godlike based on what we've seen from Wolves in the last 2 days. And more beyond that, map 5, map 6, map 7 all look really good for Wolves based on their performance on Raid in their last matchup. So I think if you're Godlike, you want to see the series get done quickly if possible.
Just a little bit of update for everybody
versus Godlike.
A couple more players to get themselves set up and ready to go while we're hanging out here getting prepared for the grand finals of our Call of Duty Mobile World Championship here live from DreamHack Atlanta, a 3-day long competition, and it was a grueling day 1, a very quick and decisive day 2, and now we have whittled it down to our last 2 teams, both of which will be taking home massive prize pool. But who takes home the title? Who takes home the trophy? Who takes home the rings that we talked about? There's a lot on the line, and there's a lot on the line for both of these teams because now we've gotten to a point in the discussion where it's
our Cordem Telugu P-Bhai ka pura naam hai.
Championship, and that's massive just from a pride perspective for both of them.
And not only that, big shout out to the COD Mobile Esports guys. $170,000, I think is what they're going to be pulling at least.
Yeah.
The previous highest amount that India has ever won in any esport competition was $121,000. So they've already guaranteed themselves as the winningest team in India esports with the chance to really supersede that. Big shout outs to Mr. Bobby Plays for helping bring that stat to life.
Yep, where is Mr. Bobby Plays, of course? Would hope that he would be here watching the competition. Of course he is. He's tucked away underneath some staircases, what I ended up seeing earlier. But regardless of the matter, it's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to see if Godlike can get the job done.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's sounding like our grand finals match is about ready to go and get underway. In just a short while, we will crown ourselves a world champion in Call of Duty Mobile. This is it. Everything they fought for all
इनको
year,
रायता फैलाने में बहुत मजा आता है, इसलिए अभी रायता फैला रही हैं। अभी चाट के खाएंगी ना जमीन से, तो पहले फैलाना तो पड़ेगा।
those 4 maps. We are
एरी तो हॉक्स का तो लौड़ा लग चुका है।
I cannot be any more excited to pass this off to you. Let's do it.
Let's have some fun there,
लौड़ा
friends.
मतलब उसके चैट में अरे वेक के बहुत करीबी दोस्त है ना हॉक्स, जो सब तो उसको रोस्ट कर रहा है उधर ही चैट पे, और एरी तो हॉक्स दोनों एक साथ। अरे शुरू हो गया बॉयज, छोड़ो सब, शुरू हो गया।
We've got Godlike out of India, Wolves out of China, and we're into Takeoff map 1 grand
finals. गजब, मॉडल अभी शुरू से गजब दबा दिया।
Let's get it on.
Takeoff played one time for Wolves, and what we just got to see, it was a close
affair. चल रहा है बैक एंड फोर्थ चल रहा है, बड़ा अच्छा है।
This is such a good map set for Godlike. If they can win this first map, like we already talked about, you have to try to survive to make it to the end of the best of 7.
7 है, बढ़िया चल रहा है।
50-50 over the top of the hard point. Everyone kind of getting a feel for one another. Again, the statistics on this map should firmly favor them Godlike based on how they've played it so far this week. And only a single instance we've seen Wolves.
But फिर भी गॉडल ने अपना स्पॉन पकड़ा रखा है सेकंड के लिए।
Get hot early for Wolves. They could really become a problem. 16 plays 7. Lots of focus over towards rotation. Good kills for Wolves on the exits. That will establish them control the left side of the map.
Wolves अच्छा है, but हो जाएगा।
10 seconds remain here for P1, and as you say, the rotation towards new is what's immediately focused for Wolves just about 10 seconds ago. They've been having players anchor out inside
ये
P2
दोनों Wolves का ही मैप है, but ठीक है, गॉडल भी ले सकता है।
The biggest issue for Godlike is that the positional advantage for Wolves has some split spawning across the map.
Yeah, with the Predator missile, it makes things a little bit more comfortable here for Wolves on rotation. Abiz does find a handful of kills. That's 3 in a row for him. That keeps the hard point at least more contestable for Godlike trying to break from the front. Long route being hit by King, number 4 in yellow. He's just trying to shut down the window play, but Godlike are all in from the front.
हाँ, हो गया, घुस गए वो लोग।
Time to contest. Follow up from Neon. able to at least shut down a couple of members, but you can see the Wolves members have to have their heads on a swivel as Godlike is swarming the Hardpoint. Just not able to find the kills to fully get in. Abiz again, though, becomes a catalyst, opening the door, and one more player to find. Prevail will get the kill.
Nice. OP break.
OP break. 25 seconds to have for yourself if you are Godlike. And I gotta say, heads up play still spawning out for them. While the Hardpoint was still active, trying to cut off the reinforcements for Wolves that were spawning effectively in for P2. That said, Wolves still have close respawns. They're trying to hit through the
nice.
old time. Even that Godlike are trying to set themselves up for the first money hill, which is P3.
Yeah, timing here actually favors Wolves, not only because they're able to get this exit, but with as much time as left in the Hardpoint, they can still make moves across the middle of the map, and the kills are coming through. Neon, like we framed up, a big double backside red. That will establish some control as far as how Wolves want to find an entryway in towards this third Hardpoint, and they're going to have operators to help establish this control on top of it. King, good shots with Peg, able to take down more Godlike members, and it's getting a little bit out of hand here for Godlike. Have to slow things down, have to find some sort of a hit and set up together. Neutrino only getting one for War Machine, and
War Machine से एक ही मिला.
P3 is where we're going to see a lot of these operators come out and have to find immediate effect. As you said, you want realistically to be able to find a whole lot more when you do pop out that War Machine, but I mean, Wolves, as far as effective usage for their operators, coming out on top. You still have Lurin's operators, should you want to use it. Same can be said for Pegs on the opposite side, but it seems that we're going to try to get the job done the hard way as an Annihilator gets popped by Lurin.
कोशिश तो कर रहे हैं लोग, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं बोले. बढ़िया हो गया, ब्रेक किया, नाइस ब्रेक है. नाइस, बहुत बढ़िया हो गया. अरे गजब.
Towards their direction. 83 plays 37. Couple of extra seconds here at the end. It got like early. You need to find this rotation right here. Get yourself back into this game. Learn with a Vortex gun. Gonna try to choke off these points around the side doors. Well done. Able to find a couple. Then following up, Prevail. He's been good with the equalizers so far, and it looks like Godlike have a pretty good read here as far as where Wolves are spawning. There's only one out. King could possibly play a pitcher, but he gets taken down, and now Godlike have full control of P4.
Well, luckily enough, especially for Trunks, player spawn on the north side of the map was definitely helpful. Prevail still has an equalizer. 42 bullets left, and they're sliding on in. Hunter-killer drone to at least clear the space. Furthermore, Prevail utilizing the Predator missile is keeping all these players at bay. It needs to be stressed. You needed the majority of
they absolutely provide brilliant usage of the operators. Now the last coming out from Wolves. All of it from the front doors. What? How does King get 3? That's enough to allow Sheen to get in.
नहीं, हो गया comeback, हो गया, आराम से.
Saw it from the victim's perspective, but it's impressive nonetheless, getting 2 on the slide, and Godlike, they've arrived in the map number 1 to take their first lead.
I mean, barring King just sliding in, somehow finding a triple.
हाँ, next के लिए, वो हो जाएगा वैसे.
Into a damn near full 60.
Mid पे ही है, first.
Going in towards the second set. See where Godlike are currently
नहीं, अभी है. Learn है right पे, अभी देख रहा. आई गजब, बहुत ऊँची.
EMP system on the way for Prevail should he want to use it.
Really good stuff coming out of Abiz to keep his team in it. We said that a lot during the Hacienda map number 1 when they had played in their previous series, and he's doing it here once again. Abiz taken down.
बहुत तगड़ा. One man army था वो पूरा.
Now right back into the Hardpoint. Go Chinese is team's best.
आई गजब.
Like still to try to make things fancy from the high ground, but Wolves now have full control of the 2 different points of areas that you want here on the top P1. High ground control, super pivotal, and Wolves have a chance to soak up a majority of this back 20 seconds.
It was right around this time in the first set that Wolves really started to sink their teeth into Godlike. They have to close P2, keeping P1 contested. 10 seconds still remaining as far as
बहुत बढ़िया होल्ड कर रहा है लौंडा. One man army की तरह होल्ड कर रहा है लौंडा. बहुत तगड़ा. मजा आ रहा है.
That's a beast that effectively spawns in 4P2, but wonderfully scouted out by Peg, shutting things down before the rotation towards Zoom.
But Trunks is able to kind of step into where he had left off. And Godlike will have a chance to make this mixy.
Neutrino वगैरह rotation बहुत है. आई गजब. War Machine OP भाई.
Solo play from him. His teammates are starting to flood in from window side, and he's going to have Wolves almost spawn trapped here in the back. The help is here for Godlike. Can Wolves get out of this? So much explosion happening in their spawn. We've got Gravity Vortex guns, Sparrows, War Machines.
नहीं, वो है पीछे है बंदा.
And Neutrino's going to continue to lock it down with an AR. A brilliant moment here for Godlike, and it forces the hand of Wolves to have to use something to try to crack this code.
Now really starts to make your head scratch if you are Wolves with the amount of time you can test for P1. You played for the future over by P2, but all the upgrade usage was so good from Godlike, and now they have the close spawns to try to reinforce for the scrap time. Wolves feel like they're threatened to probably use some of their operators themselves should they want to do so.
Double kill, triple kill.
For about 10 seconds and hold the rotation towards New, but so much easier said than done.
Godlike are taking their attention over towards the top side of the minimap, rotating through red.
Rotation is important.
Neutrino does have the
Spread मार रहा था ना वो predator मार रहा था साला.
will cleanly exit away from the second hard point to make their way towards mid-map.
बढ़िया.
It'll be a fight. 50-50 as the hard point opens up. Peg from the front could really change things up with the purifier if he wants to pop it here, but instead just trust the Godlike 2 for 1 on the kill feed, and it's clean immediately afterwards. Godlike able to step into the third for some time early.
But they're all kind of trapped inside the hard point. That's a great read to take down Neon from Trunks to make sure that at least they have an exit going over towards the courtyard. 40 seconds remain here on P3, and Wolves are setting themselves up for a little bit of a break.
150 भाई. तो constant hold में.
It's the claw that comes out to play for Zai. He's been good with this the entire weekend.
Completely isolated.
तो भाई 150 to 460 Trunks एक के बाद एक ले रहा भाई. Spawn trap कर लिया Trunks.
Last players left alive, trying to find a way to flush out these remaining Godlike members, but are unable to do so. Trunks will have the last word, and Godlike
Snapdragon Pro Series पे, Snapdragon Pro Series पे.
65 to 113 and heading towards rotation
हाँ,
again.
Snapdragon Pro Series पे देखो. हाँ, वो कॉर्डम ऑफिशियल वाला थोड़ा लेट चल रहा है.
Really feel the sweat dripping down your back if you are Wolves. You have to break this early, whatever means necessary. Neutrino with the war machine up top is watching these players kind of long range funnels up against down.
ओ भाई अभी constantly fit timer क्या timer Trunks बहुत बढ़िया खूब गजब वार्ड प्लेस बहुत तगड़ा बहुत सेक्सी न्यूट्रिनो द वार्ड
Trunks that'll be good for 3. Godlike with the numbers, and they have a perfect read on where Wolves are trying to hit this from. Oh, it's been clean so far from Godlike ever since we were here.
187 हो गया 190 done. My God.
Absolute chef's kiss out from Godlike, reacting to when Wolves ever try to utilize theirs. Trying to do it the hard way for the back 15 seconds. You feel like you need all of that, plus the majority of time.
जीत गया लग रहा है. अभी ये वाला अगर होल्ड कर लें जीत गया बस. गॉडल के सारे रिचार्ज है ना. हाँ, गॉडल के रिचार्ज है ऑलमोस्ट. 250 का होता. वो सेक्सी न्यूट्रिनो सेक्सी. ओ मिडिल भाई पूरा साफ कर दिया लर्न ने. ओ भाई 200 done.
Wolves struggling to find any sort of a
वो सेक्सी Trunks एक के बाद एक Trunks Ravi एक के बाद एक मेरे भाई.
Godlike ripping them apart.
211 counting on up. 35 seconds left to be soaked here at P1. Trunks has 45 kills. He's leading the entire lobby. Comparatively to the opposite side, your usual suspects aren't showing up.
ये मिड होल्ड कर रहे मतलब समझ रहे हो कितना टफ टीम होगा ये. क्योंकि ये वाला मिड होल्ड करना बहुत हार्ड होता है.
Godlike able to step closer towards getting themselves in that first map win column. Trunks
और Abhiz भाई Trunks and Abhiz दबा दिए पूरा.
Okay, moment of control here. Clean kill feed leads to Wolves being able to soak up the scrap and make moves over towards New. Can they win the gunfights though? That seems to have been the problems for the last 5 minutes of this map.
कोने में जाके मार रहे भाई.
Blue in the kill feed again, and with that, Abhiz may put this out of reach with the Sparrow. Looking good for it as Wolves will spawn back over towards the left-handed side, and Godlike have every bit of awareness that this is happening.
But they're walking into Trunks, who also pulls out the claw, finds himself too, forces King to pull
इसका खत्म है अभी खत्म हो गया बस हो गया. 3 से आ गया प्रीवेल आ गया प्रीवेल आ गया अरे प्यूरिफायर भाई प्यूरिफायर.
On the hunt with the purifier. This kind of forces him out into the open, but it still works out for a double kill. Not done with the claw yet is Zai as he's able to combine a handful of eliminations.
230 है ठीक है. nice हो जाएगा.
Wolves are not out of this. 20 seconds still to fight for. Godlike going to give this a good old
Godlike साफ कर लिए Godlike साफ कर लिए
Learn gets 2 before being shut down by Yoshi. Numbers not great for Godlike. Here comes the return for Wolves to the hill, but Learn and Trunks, they're still alive. Peg, last one left up top. Neither team could obviously win here, but it is really good news for Godlike.
Godlike छोड़ नहीं रहा Godlike छोड़ नहीं रहा next is the deciding one ये deciding है पकड़ लिया
One operator is available for Neutrino. Predator missile comes out, but Learn finds Sue. The kill
initial hold ही है देखो भाई पूरा दबा दिए
just blow him out of the map. That's exactly what's going to happen. Gravity vortex
Neutrino
on one side, War Machine on the other, and nobody from Wolves is going to be able to get into this hard point. Last couple of shots come out. Wolves individually trying to work their way on, but no, Godlike never a slow start in the first 3 hills. Never look back and take a convincing map 1 win.
Step 1 done for Godlike. As far as this best of 7 is concerned, that map 1 was everything for them to try to survive even longer. The rest of this map set looks pretty scary, all things considered.
और क्या fastest hardpoint है difference देखो point का कितना
was terrifying from Godlike's perspective. They were down considerably until we saw the end of P3
हाँ शुरू में ये लोग वो कर रहे थे वुल्स वाले फिर थर्ड से हम लोग चालू किए थर्ड से पूरा दबा डाले नहीं सैमसंग गैलेक्सी यूज करे सैमसंग गैलेक्सी S20 अल्ट्रा का हाँ सभी का एक ही है हाँ स्पॉन्सर है
There was a couple of players that spawned up behind them, but they were quick to read it. And again, their operator usage was so well focused on where Wolves were coming from.
हर बार बोलता है
Not only because it started you off on the right foot, but most importantly, that was Wolves' hardpoint pick. So, huge advantage when it comes to selecting your way through this series. 250, 186, and 53 kills.
अभी इसका होल्ड बहुत तगड़ा
There was one thing I was worried about.
Neutrino hold कम किया but उसने rotation बहुत तगड़ा किया.
Godlike on the side. Were they going to be able to step up and slay with whatever Chinese team made it to the grand finals? I think this answers the question. I mean, barring some really strange, uncharacteristic KD ratio coming out from Beck, he looked extremely uncomfortable, but it could also be said on the opposite side.
ये first match था.
Just looked that much more comfortable on the map. Their teamwork, cohesion, and overall operator usage was just shutting down everything that makes Wolves
Neutrino, Abyss, Neutrino, Abyss, Learn.
That's right. Zai had a couple of moments here and there. Wolves generally as an SFG frontline had a couple of moments here and there, but largely speaking,
कितना राउंड होगा अभी बेस्ट ऑफ 7 है तो 4 राउंड्स एटलीस्ट विन करना पड़ेगा क्या ही खेला यहाँ बहुत बढ़िया
as that last series versus Q9. So again, just have to re-hit it one last time. That is a huge map 1 win for Godlike. Coming up next,
अब सब हार गए ये फाइनल है भाई फाइनल चल रहा है
if you missed the opening game,
हाँ ये फाइनल है
Godlike looked unbelievable, able to respond to LG's early aggression. They played 3 different 5v5 post plants, sneaking a Ninja Defuse in one in particular, and then after that, the mental chess absolutely favored Godlike. They made great adaptations throughout the map.
It's just insane to be able to see somebody, a team, much less Godlike of all teams here at Worlds, being able to meet the pace of LG, shut it down, split the half 3-3.
हमारा तो Godlike है सही बात है Godlike
It's almost unheard of with the powerhouse that is Luminosity Gaming, but Godlike are the real freaking deal. So I think that when it comes down to firing range, not only are we going to be able to see the consistency of pace coming through from this Godlike roster, they're also quite adept at adapting to whatever team they are facing. We've seen that in Search and Destroy continuously, whether you're watching on the main stream or you're watching on the Bravo, Charlie, or Delta stream, wherever Godlike were playing at, that has been a consistency for them the entire weekend.
And just to kind of play the other side of the coin here, you know, Wolves, they're a great search and destroy team. We've said that
इन्होंने aggression से ही उसको जवाब दिया भाई aggression से ही जवाब दिया इन लोगों ने पूरा
you look at firing range, that has not necessarily been a map that they've preferred, nor do they have super convincing results on. Have not played it yet this weekend. They were 6-1 on it in season 4.
अरे चाइना वालों ने फोन अपने आंख में सटा लिया था पूरा
like 9-6s and stuff of the nature. And they even lost this in overtime to elevate in that CDFI grand final. So there are some things there where if this Godlike team were prepped up for it, they may have an idea as far as what exactly this Wolves team prefers to do as they were coming into this event. They won't have anything immediate to look at, but there is a lot of tape. dating back to when they were playing in CDFI.
Maro.
Amount of time between the last
a lot more
series
time than Wolves did.
That's for sure. To just talk things over with the team, with the coaching staff, whatever they have at their disposal to be able to learn as much as possible. I also saw them kind of sitting in the crowd, a few of their players, and actually trying to watch and converse with one another, trying to figure out how these teams are going to stack up against each other. There's one player in particular you need to watch out for. I don't care the search and destroy map that you are playing, Neon. That guy was out of this world ridiculous when it came to that meltdown search and destroy.
अरे वेस्टर्न वाले सारे सबसे पहले गए, यू और लेटम निकल गया, अभी वो ट्राइब भी खत्म ही हो गया था, अभी तो ये देखो सेमीफाइनल पे उन्होंने एलजी की मैच हुई थी तो पूरा अमेरिका ही गायब है, ईस्ट वेस्ट पूरा गायब है। नहीं ये रेजर का नहीं है, ये उसका है, मैं बता रहा हूँ इनके स्पॉन्सर में ही है कंपनी, मैं भूल रहा हूँ उसका।
Well rehearsed, they played a lot. Haven't played it this weekend. I have a lot of favor for Godlike here, map number 2.
यूएस एयर फोर्स है ना, अरे यूएस एयर फोर्स से हेडफोन्स है ये सारे, यूएस एयर फोर्स से वो है, यूएस एयर फोर्स का वो है।
Possibly could offer if you are Wolves, should you want to even up the series.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Small false start here. And just a reminder, in case you just tuned in late, Takeoff.
ये क्या हुआ, पहला गेम का क्या हुआ, कुछ समझ नहीं आया।
Considering that Godlike looked as good as they did. Coming up after the firing range, we still have a standoff going in for
अभी जीत गया एक।
That is one that I don't know if it necessarily favors one side or the other.
ओह अच्छा हाँ उसका ही
speaking, Wolves have preferred to stay away.
नहीं ये वो है S&D है, search and destroy है, S&D firing range।
Sometimes it's very coin flippy. And then after that,
अरे वो गलती से ऑपोजिट दिखा दिया उसमें गलती से।
They were really clutch and icy on when they had played just a bit ago when they were up against
हाँ और क्या देखो 22 KD है तो
really does look pretty favorable towards Godlike, and you need to come out with at least 2 if not maybe 3 of these first 4 maps you want to have a chance to win today.
नहीं ये खाली वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस का ये खाली ये KD जो दिखा रहे हैं किसी का नहीं है, और ये वर्ल्ड चैंपियंस का खाली KD है।
So you're almost sitting there looking at the opposite side of the stage if you are Wolves and you're like, please pick Crossroads. Yeah. Please pick Crossroads. Because they've only played Raid one time through stage 4 and they lost it. Of all things, I think that you have to be looking at Wolves just to kind of rely on their tried and true. And that is the fact that their search and destroy is very good. And they're the #1 control team out of China. So is that enough to carry them through the repetition that is this godlike roster?
All good points. We vibing in the crowd. I see you, brother. Hanging out. It's been energetic all day long. And I think the biggest thing about it is everyone was coming in today like, okay, what time does LG and Wolves play? And everything has kind of gone terse to say next year, maybe. Everything's been turned aside. It's just wild to kind of see those expectations be pretty much well accepted across the entirety of the community. And the surprise story just continue to make its way through this tournament with Godlike. And what a story it is. Again, it's one of those things like when you hear these interviews and everyone's talking about other teams, everyone's talking about East versus West, and then you got India that's just talking about themselves, and they're just like, hey, we're just here, we're a group of guys.
अरे sound ही मस्त आएगा full bass के साथ.
To see what they've been able to do, very wholesome.
Well, you know, it's awesome to be able to truly witness. I remember I was sitting backstage with Glitter, just waiting for the outcome of that Luminosity versus Godlike roster.
हाँ तो ये US Air Force से इसीलिए तो दिया जाता है, ये sound proof होता है पूरा comp के लिए.
All weekend long to come sprint out to the main stage to witness it firsthand.
Yeah, nuts.
You remember last year in Raleigh, nobody took India
gaming के लिए नहीं बना था ना Sennheiser.
You didn't have a reason to though.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, both teams just did not show up and look as prepared as they needed to be.
So you take a look at both Godlike and Vitality from that year's end.
क्योंकि ये without sponsor के किसी उससे लेंगे नहीं ये लोग.
And you get the better of. Sure. I guess what was global.
हाँ, वायर काफी मोटा है, तो क्वालिटी भी अच्छी होगी.
And I think the thing too that's again just a credit to the Snapdragon Pro Series is that Season 4 format helped teams grow I think a ton across the world. 5 weeks worth of group stages followed up by a regional playoff. You got a lot more time to kind of go through VOD, think about what went wrong, what went right, really break things down and really do your homework. And it looks like Godlike have definitely provided the prep that we were hoping to see from them last year here in 2023. Issues have been resolved. We're ready to get things going.
Sicilia, right?
Again, major favorite you would think, just based on how Godlike played it before. They will be starting off on the defensive side. No early aggression here from Wolves as Godlike take a bit of a gamble stack over towards B, and they're actually pushing through. If they get this top jungle route, that would be massive for Godlike's map control.
But you have to imagine that Wolves are going to be watching that. 2 players strong around.
पीछे से आगे, पीछे से आगे, पीछे से 3 बंदे, पीछे से 3 बंदे. अभी यार.
Unbelievable shot from Neon. BhaloBAGH was in a prime position to watch that cross.
हाँ पीछे वाला. बट अगर रोटेट हो जाता है तो सबसे तगड़ा भी है. पूरा रोटेट अगर कंप्लीट हो जाता है.
Looking for an extra opportunity to kind of get the numbers in favor of Wolves. Looks like that opportunity has closed. And now we follow the bomb carrier over towards the A site. In their way is Learn.
Plan China का.
Couple of shots tag up a handful of Wolves members. And it's actually enough to kind of push a handful back. But as the smoke comes through, it's enough cover for Shing to get this bomb planted.
China का ही है वो.
Favoring that for the post plan of the offensive team. Tin Control is also there. Also have a player lurking top wood. His retake is mostly coming through from America for Godlike.
Looks like all 4 members are going to try to flood this. Over the top, Shing able to help out. Shing holding onto his life over the top of the bomb site as well. Peg from trailer assisting.
एक ही बचा, 1v4 है. नहीं, Wolves ले गया, Wolves ले गया.
It all starts with that battle. Neon versus BhaloBAGH. Tally up 1-0 in favor of BhaloBAGH. Neon.
All I'm going to say is I'm not surprised. That guy is nuts. That first blood was just about everything for them to be able to pivot through the middle of the map and get that bomb planted over at A. Everybody on Wolves got to kill.
हाँ ये इस पॉइंट इस मैप में Godlike का थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है.
Heavy stacking their defense over towards A. More patience here from Wolves. You can
वो कैलकुलेट कर रहा है वो. नेट कैलकुलेट कर रहा है.
Let's try to feel things out with our scopes.
अभी इस बार-बार मर रहा है यार स्नाइपर से.
Wolves have so much clock to play with. And this is the thing that we've seen out of Wolves, is they get numbers advantage and will kill all noise, create doubt, force Godlike to start second-guessing their setup before they eventually feel things out and try to hit.
Unforced errors. It's very popular for search and destroy, especially looking at
snipers अगर हो गए ना, जिस टीम के स्नाइपर स्ट्रांग है वो सर्च एंड डेस्ट्रॉय जीतने का चांस ज्यादा रखते हैं.
They're still expecting for a push to still come through. You still have a full-on step.
हाँ इजी हो जाता है.
Bomb site expecting the push to still come over there.
Double stack in front of the site. Help learning over the top. That's Learn himself. Here comes the hit. And across
बढ़िया push.
Over the top, jump snipe will hit. Can't quite find the second, but Zai will follow forward, and that will be enough to collect the kills.
Neon से लोकस का लोटा उन्हों.
But the numbers offensively super favoring Wolves who go to a 4v2.
So trying to maneuver towards this A bomb site, need to collect the rock before you completely lay it down. But I mean, again, Neon
चारों एक साथ आ गए. सिंगल है.
able to get the quick sight.
नहीं अभी निकल जाएगा. Prevail खत्म.
Again, you really do feel like for Godlike.
हाँ स्नाइपर एक ही है. BhaloBAGH है खाली.
Until you deal with Neon and that scope.
Sure, absolutely. And there's going to be a decision that has to be made here in round number 3 for Godlike. Do we continue to try to battle 1v1 with sniper rifles, or do we just stay away from him and force this Wolves front line to have to be the playmakers?
गजब बढ़िया नेट था ये.
Nothing there to connect with, so those will go empty.
अगर इन केस कोई आ गया तो खत्म था.
And it looks like we're getting our answer here early here, proper. Both slopes for the side of Godlike have backed up completely until Neutrino tries to play with a little bit of elevation topside.
पूरा होल्ड कर रहा है. इनको अपना वो करना पड़ेगा.
You give him a shoulder, he will take off your entire torso.
मेरे हिसाब से क्या नाम है Godlike को थोड़ा होल्ड कर देना चाहिए. उनको प्लान की तरफ जाना चाहिए. हाँ प्लान देना चाहिए.
They're ready to pounce and turn that into a couple kills.
Yep. BhaloBAGH is going to have to step forward here too.
Yes. वही दिक्कत है ना एक्चुअली. SMG खेल रहे हैं लोग और ये स्नाइपर का मैप है.
5 kills and we're just in round 3 with still more kills potentially to come. Nade over the top will be sent over towards barrel position. Peg able to get another elimination through mid-map, makes this plant nearly a guarantee. And BhaloBAGH will not be able to do too much. No chances at pre-firing the bomb or finding a kill on the exit. So once more, we find ourselves in a 2v4. Not good news here for Godlike.
Having to retake.
Oh, nice. Learn nice side.
Learn also nice from the ground as well. Is able to at least find 2 quick scopes in succession. At least mitigating the life disadvantage.
Learn ने बचा
पूरा. On your side.
And you're still trying to re-break this with 2 scopes at the moment. Checking over through long. Learn has a ground in his back pocket. Here's the check from King. Quick shot from Learn. Trying to protect the player inside a trailer, but then it's a double wide swing from Wolves, finding both kills simultaneously. So normally it would be a BhaloBAGH and Neutrino that are sniping, but someone may want to give it over to Learn if he's hitting quick snopes like that.
I mean, given the fact that BhaloBAGH and Neutrino have a resounding 0 kills in between the two, as they're still trying to figure out where the hell Neon is located at. Might have to make
comeback हो सकता है.
through the middle of the map. At least getting some warning shots
comeback हो सकता है.
But all Wolves, again, are just waiting for somebody for Godlike to overextend.
Yeah, this is literally a battle of discipline right here. It's Godlike versus themselves, essentially. Don't overpeak. Take hard scoped angles. Force Wolves to make tough decisions. Don't let them just pick you apart one by one with the scopes. King has gotten a super forward angle. Expect that Wolves will try to do something to rotate Godlike over towards this A site and try to feed King a couple of free shots.
चाइना वाले तो इन्वेंट करते ही ये सब स्नाइपर्स का पूरा खेल चाइना वालों का ही है
That's a lot of space cleared. With all 10 players still remaining,
और बहुत पुराना मैप भी है बहुत सारे यूट्यूबर ने ऑलरेडी इनका वो कर रखा है
Trying to hope for some spam shots, not going to work out. And again, the difference maker is King, playing on that 1-for-1 angle over the top. Flank on the way in the back. Peg has a pretty good idea of this, but he actually looks away at the exact wrong moment. Can Godlike find success on this retake from behind? Lorne able to get the first. And now, Neon, trusted, has to find a couple just to make sure this wood house position stays locked in. Abiz takes down King in the corner. Now numbers for Godlike. Neon comes up 50. Now numbers significantly for the side of Godlike. Xing inside. Last one's left. Late play from Xing. Oh, and he's able to find a handful. Prevail. 1v1. Can he get here in time? Xing's just going to play with the clock. Has to hop it. Here's the check. Shot comes through. Why does he have enough time?
नहीं हो पाया यार बहुत कुछ बढ़िया था कुछ बढ़िया था बट नहीं हो पाया बट इट्स ओके बढ़िया था ऐसे ही इनको खेलना पड़ेगा ऐसे ही खेलना पड़ेगा हो सकता है
And Wolves understand that. I mean,
1v1 नहीं साथ में 2-3 एक साथ घुसना पड़ेगा तभी वो लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे वो ठीक है वो जैसे अभी घुसा था ना जैसे उनको प्लान करने दिया फिर धीरे करके ये देखो ट्रंक्स ने गलती किया यहाँ पर देखो बट पीछे से घुस गया एक पीछे से एक तो घुस गया ओ गजब एक स्नाइपर को दे दिया एक मिनट में घुसा हुआ था अरे
Wolves are just happy to sit around for the first 45 to 60 seconds of the round and said, yeah, come on in, we'll take these 1v1s from our fortified
वो लेते नहीं है शुरू में अगर उनको पीछे से मार दो तो सही
and how much time they're able to exhaust. Godlike just need to stop getting antsy. They're at least taking down Neon, but you're still in a 3v4. Bomb's gonna get planted here today.
Snapdragon Pro Series पे Snapdragon Pro Series ओ गजब लर्न बढ़िया खेल गया अरे लर्न दोनों तरफ से फंस गया साला
Last player left is Neutrino with nowhere to go.
Broadel Pro Series पे
the simple fact of this half has been decided by Godlike just running
live है हाँ live ही है ये सब live ही चल रहा है
The question remains why?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Either throw some shoulders.
नहीं इनका 7 राउंड का होता है 7 राउंड का होता है
There's no reason on defense, especially for fire range, you need to be giving up that many
obviously ना चैंपियन पूरे गजब obvious गजब Neon को ही ले लिया उठा के
Neon preoccupied and Abiz's late pick will work out for first blood. Nice little cheeky play off the front side.
Trunks also
up close and personal. We'll take down two. Here we go.
Sexy.
Godlike starting to find a lot of control all of a sudden, but is it maybe too little, too late? Last defensive round of the half for them, looking pretty locked in.
Nice
here with Kings alive. First shot goes wide. There will not be initially another chance for a second. The come through and Abiz will find the kill. That will get the first round for Godlike.
First round.
There are sides, switch sides.
It's a day late.
Switch sides.
Yeah, well, three rounds short, really.
Yeah, truly. 5-1 half. Now you need to convert on all of these rounds just to potentially force overtime.
अब गॉर्डन निकालेगा अभी गॉर्डन निकाल
see what happens when you take down at least one scope. Trucks can get in their face.
हाँ खत्म है ये खत्म है ऑलमोस्ट थोड़ा सा उसमें घुस चुके
Does Godlike have the ability to flush this out? Do they even want to? Trunks will sneak forward. Bomb from Prevail getting planted. Here's the check from Wolves. Toe tags come through, but not enough to stop the plant. Prevail will get it
नहीं दे पाया ना
Jump peek from Peg, not going to work out as Neutrino
tallies first निकल गया नेट उस पे हो गया खुद पे नेट हो गया तो ध्यान नहीं दिया
Godlike still holding real close towards trailer side. And these two players from Wolves cannot get on trailer. There's just no exit here whatsoever. Neon has to literally force the door open, and okay, that may be enough. Xing's able to get two.
आ गया पीछे से आ गया
through, but
पीछे से आ गया
Is it enough? Down to a 1v1. Neutrino playing from the opposite side. 13 seconds on the clock. Xing has not seen him yet. Neutrino just holding cover and then pops up as soon as utility connects. Well played, and Godlike get two in a row.
Yeah, really well played coming out from Godlike. Again, given that fact that they were able to get on that bomb site very, very quickly, hold in the middle of the map, keep those players trapped inside of 10 as long as
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है, वो लोग mythic use नहीं कर रहे, reason being mythic का lag करता है mythic से.
When you drop 5.5, you better hope that your second half is just better prepped than whatever Wolves have to offer. First blood again to Neon. He is
nice, Neon prevail दोनों गया. अरे यार.
Such a problem. And now you've got a very laborious 3v5. Wolves can just sit back and enjoy the scene.
Nice, got it learn.
Actually sneaks up. If he could get this planted, it would be massive. But the check
अरे ध्यान नहीं दिया उसने. Health कम था ना. Health कम
The
था.
last two members are godlike are stuck without the bomb.
ओहो nice, बढ़िया था ये.
Little back and forth jump shot. Neon gets the better. And we'll find the last of Neutrino.
It's okay.
So map point here
fine.
for Wolves.
Map point.
Again, it is just a game of mere inches. You cannot afford to make any mistakes. To your point, their shift, you gotta play it so
7 rounds होता है, but अभी तो 6-2 पे है. अगर ये जीत जाए तो Wolves के नाम पे, अगर हार जाए तो फिर constantly Godel अभी continue करेगा.
But again, King jump peeks that and connects. Are you kidding me? Prevail gets in the closet, but King is still backed up and playing over through tire side. Abiz is having a little bit of an issue with Zai on the backside of Car. And the kills for Wolves are fully here. Defense is rotated over. It's clean. It's polished. And it's just down to Neutrino. Nowhere to go. 7-2 to Wolves. Both teams
aggressive में थोड़ा problem हो जा रहा है.
It's really unsurprising, but yet surprising for that one simple fact, right? Is that yes, you are taking your opponent's map picks, but Wolves being a search and destroy team, the one map mode combination that they have dropped historically over the past couple of years has been Hardpoint.
Front line नहीं है भाई, control है अभी next. Control. वापस आके मतलब वही तो है, कंट्रोल रैंक में नहीं है, इनके चैंपियनशिप में होता है. कंट्रोल है, SNDA है एंड हार्डपॉइंट, सॉरी, तीन ही होता है इनका, इन्हीं तीन में रोटेशन होता है. हाँ, हार्डपॉइंट कंट्रोल दोनों निकाल लेंगे. हाँ, SND ही खेलते हैं वो लोग.
That's dangerous, I think, if you're godlike. And I think the sentiments that we had about how if godlike were to win a championship today, it would have to be through the respawns.
हाँ, godlike हार गई, DG और godlike हार गई ये वाला, but अभी बाकी है.
I'm not gonna lie, just immediately looking at the stats and the development from a lot of these rounds. Double positive out from Neon. Shin going 9-6 with the MVP for his team.
Vortex?
Yeah, I saw that. The guarantee for the Tunisia.
हाँ, वो वोटेक्स यार मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. ये वोटेक्स भी एक हाँ चैंपियनशिप का बंदा है एक, मैं मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, एक टीम पे था वोटेक्स यार. हाँ, याद नहीं आ रहा यार, एकदम से दिमाग से निकल गया. वोटेक्स था, वोटेक्स वेस्ट का बंदा है, यूरोपियन बंदा है.
You're giving away a lot of freedom in a best-of-7 format to the team on the other side of the stage, and go figure they happen to be from China, where they love to play search and destroy. So not great news there. And I think again,
Kings के लिए खेलता है सर वोटेक्स. Kings clan के लिए.
Especially when you and I continuously talk about godlike.
नहीं iPad अलाउ नहीं.
Think about their practice, their preparation leading.
iPad होता तो ये लोग छोड़ नहीं देते फिर. चाइना वाले iPad में मास्टर होते हैं.
Have vitality to be scrimming up against, because when you go back and you look at them as a region, I mean, they were essentially just steamrolling everybody all the time on every single map mode combination. And when they get to the international scale, this is where they start to realistically showcase all of that talent versus vitality in their hyperbolic time chamber inside of India.
Yeah.
And that's where the question marks remain on having your hard vetoes. Just because you don't like to play the map, it might be worth trying to do that just to get rid of your opponent's best possible outcome.
Yeah, so absolutely.
There's a lot to be questioned when it comes down to godlike, though everything that has been talked about backstage for scrimmages and between all these teams internationally is that godlike are the absolute truth. You don't necessarily ever want to count them out of any situation, given that the odds might be stacked against them.
So again, must-win map feels like.
Yeah.
हाँ, ये learn है शायद. ये लर्न रहता है लब कैप्टन पहले बैठता है ना
Chinese team on control, but it is standoff where
I feel like anything can happen.
Yeah, you get any sort of inch, you could turn it into a country mile. Granny is going to be in overtime work with the amount of spawns.
नहीं ये लोग सिर्फ हाँ ये लोग स्क्रीम्स खेलते हैं बहुत
Another moment where you put a lot of attention and spotlight over towards the SMGs on both
sides.
नहीं. Who can find a way to catch momentum and take away the map quickly? Here we go. 1-1 tally, best of 7 grand finals.
हाँ और क्या? अरे प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है भाई पूरा साल प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है हाँ देखो ये देखो न्यूट्रिनो अभी देखो रिस्पॉन्स में हमारा इंडिया बहुत तगड़ा खेलेगा रिस्पॉन्स में इंडिया बहुत तगड़ा खेलेगा कंट्रोल तो पूरा हाई वो बंद कर दिया उन्होंने इनका वो क्या बोलते हैं स्पॉन ट्रैप कर दिया स्पॉन ट्रैप कर दिया भाई
Immediately flooded all the way through the backside of hotel, through Delhi, got right in their faces. It was a flawless opening break for Godlike, still trailing by 6 lives are Wolves, but they're slowly trying to get out of their spawn.
It's just taking so much time, and it's taking a lot of lives.
वो kind of search and destroy and वो तरीके का है ये
with the time being as low as it is, you kind of have to keep your focus over towards the front of the map. And my goodness, this guy doesn't miss. Another quick snipe out of Neon. King trying to get flush out the back.
हाँ एसएनडी हार गया क्योंकि चाइना वाले एसएनडी बहुत खेलते हैं.
Slip and slide from literally refrigerator all the way to backside Delhi.
भाई स्पॉन ट्रैप कर रहे भाई घुस के मार रहे स्पॉन ट्रैप करके घुस के मार रहे भाई.
Last 9 lives, 22 playing 9, and this is a huge start.
अभी देखो ओ भाई साहब.
Feels like they can almost do no wrong until Neon finds himself too with the boomstick, but he's realistically the only one that's finding value. The problem is that he's doing it with the sniper, and he's trying to create space for his SMGs and ARs to get in better positioning. But this one was all over from the opening break. There, I mean, that flawless opening that Godlike had was.
एक दो ही बचा हुआ है
That'll be the round. Neon didn't quite get there. So again, this is one of the things that I always have kind of looked at and evaluated. You know, the Eastern teams, Chinese teams in particular, they love the snipers out on control.
तगड़ा खेल रहे हैं भाई. 3 मैचेस है नहीं 3 नहीं इसमें 4 मैचेस विन करना पड़ता है. बेस्ट आउट ऑफ 7 है तो 4 मैचेस.
So much ground to cover to see either zone. So a perfect.
क्या नेट था न्यूट्रिनो का तगड़ा नेट था.
Now it's up to what they can do offensively. And on their breakoff, they do get over to A quickly. Not quite able to stay on top of the zone. Sloppy shots from Zai, punished, but the trade comes through, so no damage dealt. Shing over to the backside of gas station, also gets dealt. So again, dealing with the bees, playing through warehouse, have a chance to try to join them over towards the A site.
That Standoff is a very difficult map to find value with offensively, but it was a full hold, so if you are Godlike and you want that round
ये लोग तो kills पे जा रहे हैं. अरे वो spawn trap कर लिया उनको. Spawn trap कर लिया अभी लर्न मिल के spawn trap कर लिया उनका.
All the way through hotel is pushing wolves back in towards their spawn. They're currently on both zones.
Learn hasn't found anything yet with the Annihilator, but he's going to be a problem from this top window position. Trunks making sure that nobody from Wolves can recontest this A zone, at least not for free. Learn eventually caught off. Trunks, does he find this kill here? Sure does. And with that, second progress will be locked over towards A. Sparrow for Neon, trying to find a way to kind of get back to this zone, maybe try to stop that third tick of progress from coming through. Here come Wolves, playing hard for the retake. Can they get there in time, though? It's still being ticked up. There's still a member on. Neon didn't realize it. He only thought one player was there. So an extra 60 seconds get added, and we're playing 15v15.
Job still good, well done. If you are looking at it from Godlike's perspective, even if you lose this, as far as a round is concerned, that full segment capture is massive.
अरे ये गड़बड़ हो गया.
Our Wolves getting themselves in towards the backside of Delhi. Now it's all up to Xing to see if he can try to keep them trapped.
हो जाएगा नाइस है बढ़िया. अरे ये वाला नहीं फाइट लेना चाहिए था.
That B zone doesn't have to be a focus as of yet for Godlike. Just comes down to can you work your way into some good positions to find decent kills, and this one from Bees should be able to eventually lock down the shots. And now we go 8v8. Left side of the minimap starts to come up blue. Nice shutdown comes out for Wolves though, dealing with the threat. Still more to come though, and King gets caught by surprise. 67 now all of a sudden. And Wolves have kind of backed off that attempt to try to get forward defensively. They're just trying to play this as an ally. Prevail the equalizers, work clearing out warehouse.
Needs to be able to find further value with this. You feel like that if you're pulling the equalizer out this late in a 6v7, that should be the call that you can possibly close things down, but it forces Zai out to pull the Annihilator.
Whoa, what shots those are from Neutrino.
5v5, nice.
5v5, 30 seconds on the clock. Trunks up top, 1v1.
4v4. Oi, gajab.
Trade still.
3v4.
Goes.
3v4.
Can you find a way to get over here? 3v3. Trunks is up top of the spot. He's got the pitch. Misses the shots. Not on one, but on two. Is there any follow-up? Wolves have stayed alive from what to be certain disaster.
Oh,
Trunks is still playing alongside Fred. Now playing on top of the zone. 1v1. This is for the round. On the zone is Godlike. Zai over the top. Down with Prevail. And Godlike find themselves up 2-0.
Oh my word. Are things getting out of hand
Godlike
Wolves? It's these opening breaks that just keep on stabbing them in the back continuously. And there's realistically no fight back in the middle of these rounds. Godlike are too persistent.
नहीं मेरे घर में कोई नहीं है कोई दिक्कत नहीं अरे अभी घुस गया वो लेके ले घुस गया
looking to layering on the pressure through the opening break once again.
Oh, it gets a little bit crossed up though. Notice that the A zone still being captured. Wasn't sure if he wanted to take the Sparrow for a spawn trap.
ये वाला छोड़ देना चाहिए ये वाला छोड़
clean out of spawn cleanly getting the second tick of progress and with a lot of lives still to play with. And you can see Godlike are going to
नेट से किल निकाल रहे हैं भाई गजब
but Neon is here and that may be enough. Oh
नियॉन बहुत तगड़ा खेला नियॉन स्नाइपिंग कर रहा है बट न्यूट्रिनो ने निकाल दिया उसको
60 seconds is added. We got 2 minutes and 20 seconds on
the clock.
Lives just about even. Well, look at the positional advantage that you have coming through.
अरे न्यूट्रिनो गजब निकाल रहा है एक के बाद एक.
One player that is so far south, it's basically off the screen for Godlike trying to make sure that the flank is secured. So the fight going on.
Oh, nice निकाल दिया नियॉन बढ़िया था बढ़िया था.
Come out on top.
Prevail just has no fear, man.
He's
the one coming in to help fill in for Skull Guy, who can't quite be here. I'm sure he's Godlike's #1 fan right now in the chat. And maybe even more so, Prevail's #1 fan at the moment. Neutrino after the War Machine has the Pred Missile, calling it in. Does that turn anything over to Godlike's favor? Not quite. Small life advantage here for Wolves, but nearly a full minute has been ticked off the clock with this Godlike defense.
So have a life lead. They have an operator from Jing. The biggest issue is you're almost forced to, at the moment that you get any sort of advantage, you have to press the triggers and you have to get yourself on towards these zones. Because any round loss means that you're going to be
difference ज़्यादा हो गया यार difference इतना नहीं है 5 lives का difference हो गया.
They can find a way in towards B. Gravity Vortex gun will start things off. These are desperate trying to vacuum.
हार जाएंगे ना ये लोग हार जाएंगे.
Going to work out and actually it's Trunks on the opposite side with the ball.
आप चाइना वाले का वो है खत्म है.
Holding off the inevitable hit from Wolves. Everything pushed back in towards spawn. 55 seconds on the clock. 3 life advantage for Wolves.
बढ़िया
invested, exhausted.
बढ़िया hold कर लिया इन लोगों ने.
Can just play all the way to the backside of Bakery and just make sure that their flank remains secure. 43 seconds, 13 points up against 10. You feel like that this might just be Wolves' last good hit to try to get onto the zone.
It really feels that way. Look how stretched on the map they are. Learn feeling the pressure has popped a proactive Annihilator. Hasn't seen anything yet though, and he's running on a charge on this. Here comes Wolves. Clean kills coming through. 13 playing up against 5. Well, 25 seconds on the clock. The best condition for Godlike is to try to use the clock to their advantage, but it's not going to work out. Peg gets into the spawn and will not be pushed away. Wolves a critical.
चलो हो जाएगा boys हो जाएगा.
So staying alive here in the map number 3 for Wolves. Their biggest concern again comes down to their opening breakoffs. Again, control is done or dusted off your opening breaks, and for the opening 2 rounds that Godlike won, they've had tremendous opening breaks. That was the first time that we got to see Wolves have a good one for themselves on defense. They're at least witnessing that a lot of players are pushing over towards that A-bomb side square. Zone kills are already coming through from Godlike. They're already stepping foot on that B zone.
Zai, Annihilator out.
अरे वो Annihilator बढ़िया खेल रहा है रुको Annihilator
very good exit off of their opening break off towards B, and now that's all been pushed away. Zai still finding a way to get kills. Predator missile earned, and oh, get out of my face! You want to go boxing? Nah, not fair. Trunks able to get 2 off of his next respawn, but it feels like the damage has already been dealt. 26 playing 19. Wolves setting up the spawn trap. Neon with the scope. Not the weapon that he wants. Has an SMG in the back pocket.
Sexy, बढ़िया था.
Pred missile off the rip does take down Trunks, and the life lead continues to be significant for Wolves defense.
And again, the problem will surmount for Wolves that every single time they get some semblance of an advantage, whether that be a resource or an operator, you have to call it in and never relent off the gas. Prevail does have an equalizer to pull out should he want to use it, but it's looking like you probably want to save it for that round 5.
नहीं हो सकता है boys हो सकता है.
I just don't want to see Godlike pull anything here unless they can start to find some control.
Time नहीं है एक बार घुसना पड़ेगा इनको एक बार बस.
The old-fashioned way. Clock stopped at 26 seconds. You've got one member on A. Help is nearby, but not fully.
नहीं ये कैप्चर हो रहा है, ये कैप्चर हो रहा है, ये कैप्चर हो रहा है, वो जो
He may be enough. He's still on. First tick of progress.
हाँ इनका स्नाइपर बढ़िया है बस.
Here and hold on. 13 plays 15. Neon not really a part of this defense. He can't quite get down. So the balcony jump comes through. Now the second tick gets locked in. And Godlike now have the green light. They could not just play for this third tick, but they could definitely invest operators if they feel they can win this offense.
I feel like you just want to try to get more resources
एक मिनट मिल गया, एक मिनट मिल
You
गया.
already know you have a round 5 defense if you are Godlike. You just cannot afford to get steamrolled over like what happened in their previous defense.
अभी भी होल्ड करेंगे ये लोग फुल.
Making sure that their flank is secure before they try to take a real good look on how they can break over.
अभी चलो. भाई nice. Learn nice.
He is able to clear out a lot of space, so it provides an avenue for Godlike to get over towards the zone. But can they crack the defense?
अरे ट्रंक्स और वो लर्न निकल गया.
A kilo. That'll be good for a couple of kills up top. Godlike still make their way on. Force comes through.
नहीं एक साथ आना पड़ेगा इनको. Nice.
To try to deal with this. 7 plays 12, but Peg, he pops the equalizer up towards the offensive spawn. So more operators getting spent here for Wolves in a round that looked like it was pretty much going to go their way anyway.
You would think so, but I mean, the way that Godlike got past Statue and they were already investing a handful of operators themselves, it's better to secure it from Wolves' perspective comparatively to Godlike, who really wanted to make sure that they maintain some operators going in towards this upcoming defense. 2 points up against 10, it's not very likely. It's going to end up going to a round 5. Let's be candid here. Yeah. Take a look at Neon, though. He does have a considerable amount of resources that he can utilize going into this round 5, but the biggest issue that you're probably talking to yourself if you are Godlike right now is what went wrong in their previous defense.
Last 8 seconds should come with some anticlimactic fashion.
A
lot of time on the clock, though. That's the bigger thing, and so there's going to be a little bit of extra charge potentially for some of these operators that were just previously used. So we go to round 5.
चलो हो सकता है boys हो सकता है.
Individually are wide. He's got the Hunter Killer, the Preddy, and he's got his Sparrow at the ready. How do you want to utilize it? Will he come out of spawn with a scope? Yes, he will. So do you just set up and hope that Neon can do an opening shot and then go through that lane? That very well may be the case because he can follow up now that he's got the Sparrow.
That's quite literally what happened in their previous offense. Trunks still wants to get aggressive, past the gas station, pulls out the claw. He's not here alone. Abiz is here as well. Neon finds that first pick, but not a moment too late. It's already Godlike winning the opening breakoff, give or take.
Gravity Vortex finds a lot of value for Shing before he drops. Claw inside a cafe. Could be deadly, but it runs out of charge. Neon still holding on. Here comes the Red Missile being called in. Lerm over the top at Hotel, trying to see if anyone crosses through mid-tank with the Annihilator. Instead finds Neon, but misses the shot. So this Annihilator kind of goes without much to cause. Wolves try to stack over to the back alley. Can they get good contact here? Zai taken down. Neon, almost there to capitalize. Just as Lern had lost the Annihilator charge, but he pulls the Sparrow, and Trunks takes him out of the picture quickly. Trunks now dominating.
Trunks mid control कर लिया Trunks.
Keep your eye on Peg. Number 1 in yellow has gotten through. Can he make a mess of this Godlike defense?
खत्म होने वाला है.
Prevail's trying to hunt him down from this positioning, and it'll go 1v1 inside of He's able to stay alive. And that means that you can get presence over towards B. 3 life lead now for Wolves, and they're stalling out the clock. Zai has the Annihilator out. He's able to more space being provided here for Wolves.
Critical decision making
जा रहा है यार. B जा रहा है, but ये लोग जा रहे हैं. हो गया.
Put some damage into the lives, or do you come back to stop the progress at B? Second tick gets locked in. No one's going back for the B zone. They're going to trust that Trunks can continue to just wreck Wolves inside their spawn, but he's already been pushed off. There's going to be a lot of time here for Wolves to still work with, and an A defense not as common as
नहीं बढ़िया कर रहा है. Learn बढ़िया खेल रहा है. 14-15 बढ़िया है. Close है.
That said, Godlike, as you were talking about, have already invested that they can try to keep them in the spawn trap. Abiz, where were you thinking of going? You already have them spawning out over behind Grandma's. He puts himself in a terrible position, but more kills to be traded out for sure.
Massive from Lern to keep Trunks alive, and no one's able to track down where Trunks had gone to. He was at 1 HP. Now he can try to get in towards Grandma's. But once again, it's kind of a battle on 2 fronts right here. Wolves is also playing from the Godlike side of the map. Time becoming an issue again. 45 seconds on the clock. Godlike still trying to force this spawn trap. And Wolves really aren't coming back to either the zone or to help their teammates. And Neutrino is going to have a war machine, but it gets shut down immediately. 9 plays 8. Wolves able to get out of spawn. Just comes down to can they get to the point? 30 seconds remaining.
The Peg overextending, trying to find more kills past the L bar there in the middle of the map. Neon has an operator, pulls out the Sparrow.
वो जीत गए 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 8-4 है 8-4 है कील मत दे कील निकाल रहे हो जाए बढ़िया
Peg as his operator. Can he get into a position to use it? Couple of good trades come through. 3v6 now all of a sudden. Forcing the fight up top. Oh, here comes Peg with the equalizer. Is this still true? 2v5. Peg now by himself. He's able to find himself a double. Trying to chase down the kills with the clock. You got to stay on the zone. 1 second remains. 1v3 situation. And
अभी तो खत्म होने ही वाला है बस
equalizer run out. There's no need to challenge yet. Here come the Chels and Neon. Maybe needed to be the guy instead of Peg. There just wasn't an opportunity to use those equalizers. Godlike stay alive, survive through round 5 and take the edge back in the series.
इक्विलाइजर बहुत तगड़ा है ना भाई इक्विलाइजर तगड़ा रहता है
Standoff control, I'll tell you that much, Shift. At least they got the job done there at the end. It was a right
लर्न ने धो डाला पूरा लर्न और अवीज ने भाई धो डाला पूरा
operators knowing damn well that there was probably going to be some streaks on the opposite side. Neon was holding that Sparrow for a long time. It's not exactly always the high impacting operator. Neon was the operator there with a sniper rifle most often than not.
China वाले पानी पी रहे हैं.
Godlike to get in the respawns. That is a statement to be said. Taking control no matter the map.
गार्ड तक नहीं पूरा निकल के आ गया.
This best of 7 grand final coming up next. We've got the Hacienda Hardpoint. Godlike's map selection, but so far a lot of the map picks have gone the opposite direction.
ब्रेक का ट्रेन चल रहा है भाई.
Godlike take a super big edge and find themselves on tournament point. We find out.
ट्विटर पे हाँ बिग हैशटैग बिग एस पूरा ट्रेंड हो गया पूरा दबा के वेग हैशटैग वेग होगा ट्रेंडिंग में देखो अभी इसके बाद तो फिर दोबारा वो है हार्ड पॉइंट है भाई दोबारा हार्ड पॉइंट है हाँ इस बार उस हाँ मारो या मरो सीधा सीन है कैंप नहीं करना है हाँ हाँ भाई बहुत ज्यादा आप उस आलोक भाई ने डीमोटिवेट कर दिया यार आलोक भाई ने पूरा डीमोटिवेट कर मजा ही नहीं आएगा भाई पूरा ऐसा लगे बोरिंग सा लगे नहीं जाएंगे भाई funny. अच्छा
Welcome back there, friends, family, and
अभी
all of you
Hardpoint
here in
है,
Atlanta. We have a
Hardpoint.
2-1 map count in the grand finals, best of 7. And boy, I'll tell you, DreamHack, you guys have been awesome. Literally all weekend long. Crowd's been getting nuts today. I think a lot of it is
अरे चलो गेम पे वापस चलो यार छोड़ो वो सब चलो गेम पे वापस आओ.
It's really been one of those that, again, I don't think anyone would have predicted this. You know, as a finals, maybe people had Wolves in it, but to see Godlike making the top 8, supersede LG, and now be up to possibly be a new world champion and a first-time champion in Indian esports. Huge storylines being written as we approach a Hacienda Hardpoint proper.
So let's not get ahead of ourselves here, though, Alan, because yes, we have the Hacienda Hardpoint, but that Tunisia search and destroy is
God help पूरा orgasm वाला गेम दे रहा है चाइना को.
I think the Takeoff was already quite telling for you that you can be out-rotating this Wolves roster. You can clearly slay with the best of them. It doesn't seem that they're firing up on all cylinders when it comes down to their gunning. And Hacienda hasn't been terrible for you this weekend,
not at all.
considering that you were able to beat Luminosity, albeit by 8 points. And the same thing for Standpoint at the same time. This is a combination much like Takeoff.
Quad Mobile से है वो sponsored है.
Yeah, I agree. I think on the other side of things, you know, looking at Q9 getting themselves ready to go and trying to see if they can find their first respawn win here in this series. You got to remember that they beat Tribe on this map, and even though Tribe didn't make it to the top 8, everyone I think that recognizes the NA talent knows that Tribe
Final
is
हो रहा
going to be
है.
trifled with. So
तगड़ा वो था prediction था.
Some late heroics to best Tribe on their best bad mode combo is massive. So even though this is godlike selection, you know Wolves got to be feeling pretty confident with what they've been able to showcase on this map earlier this week.
Better be feeling confident after all those interviews saying that they were going to be the #1 team.
Yeah.
नहीं Gordel नहीं था. Gordel quarter में निकल गया था. Elimination rounds में निकल गए थे.
It's going to be a tough choice to say the least when it comes down to how they want to approach this. Again, we know that they can slay. We know that they can play fundamentally strong hardpoint. That much was at least answered.
अरे इंडिया वाले लाइव देख रहे हैं ना. इंडिया का भी है और इंडिया वाले लाइव सबसे ज्यादा इंडिया वाले लाइव देख रहे हैं आज.
Yeah, and I think again we've said this a handful of times, but now through 3 maps, we can really see that a lot of the Wolves' success comes on the backside of Neon starting them off, usually with a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
that's not going to be a part of the play here for Hacienda Hardpoint.
No.
And
भाई आलोक भाई क्योंने यार उसको डरा दिया यार गलत बात है.
The better of Zai in almost every single scoreboard in respawn in particular, and that is again we said we need to focus on it, but now it has to change. Zai has to have a burner here from Wolves if they want to get back even in the series.
Zai and Peg, I mean Peg had a very uncharacteristic map #1. That is not what I've come to expect.
वो स्टेज 3 में ये लोगों ने सरेंडर कर दिया. स्टेज 3 पे सरेंडर कर दिया.
There is a lot of focus for a lot of these usual suspects for Wolves.
Steel के साथ.
Trying to help things out because it can't just be Zai. It can't just be Peg. And you can't just rely on Neon to be able to find these opening engagements. And even if he does,
हम ही काफी है. स्टील ट्विल से छोड़ो.
Here we go. Right on into it. A mixy fountain we expect between these two. Lots of battle for these high ground hallways. Peg taking her out through secret, and Shig is actually just going to jump right on in towards the fountain. Even trades come through for now. Shig looking to see where exactly this guy
नहीं लीड नहीं लिया ये वो चला. वो खत्म है. एक अच्छा एक आ चुका है.
A little bit of these top halls positions and keep the contest well and alive over to the top fountain.
This P1 is all just about hallway control.
7 की लीड आ गई, 8 आ गई.
A lot of engagements for the SMGs to get in your face. Side, able to at least answer back for 2. Not a whole lot of time.
ठीक है चल रहा है. ठीक है ये एक्चुअली ये वाला कोई कैप्चर करता नहीं है ज्यादा. ये हमेशा बैक एंड फोर्थ ही चलता है मिडिल वाला.
Number 4 in yellow already on the rotation.
ये हर बार
will suffocate them backside through well and then rotate off for the regen as he heads over towards B2. Follow up from Zai. Here we go. Zai for 3 right through spiral stairs. Smokes his presence in towards the corner. Slides on forward.
अरे यार वो
huge chow from him. 4 kills in a row in the life, and Wolves will have a chance to get themselves up just as the hard point starts to open.
गजब बढ़िया था ये ब्रेक बढ़िया था.
From a nade out of trunk, so that at least shuts down any sort of streak potential. But getting close towards those operators very early on, will I say that? Hunter Killer Drone was earned by Neon not a few moments ago. as they set themselves up around Lambo, and the setup's looking pretty decent.
Yeah, really good. Godlike would have to hit this from the front. Smokes allows them some entry, but it's all about predicting your corners and hoping you get blessed. Abiz, double for him.
इसकी गारंटी हम लोग देते हैं.
He's trying to get a little bit of extra space here, kind of saying, I'm already through. I'm going to go a little deeper. Let my teammates just walk into the hill. But Neon right there to pick things up. Back and
lead आ जाएगा, boys, lead आ जाएगा. Focus.
Spawning out, but a chance to pinch this as Wolves are stuck over through the driveway, and the kills now starting to come through for Godlike. Focus from the front. Truck's trying to step in, and Wolves clean things up. Final kills come through.
नहीं, हो नहीं, कर रहा. ठीक है. Lead आ जाएगा.
Scrap time will be there for sure, but the rotation towards P3 is what you're mostly going to be looking at, especially with these operators starting to come online for a handful of players. Very scrappy P2, might I add, but you can take a look at the spawns, especially for
हो जाएगा.
around P2. It means that you're still going to have Godlike players spawning to the backside of Mansion. So these isolated battles over by
Wait करो, comeback होगा. देखो अभी पूरा वो चल रहा है, हो जाएगा.
Gets down, knows he has to play his life. Not a lot of help nearby as of yet, but Godlike are working for patio control up top. Learn, Annihilator, deep, caught by surprise, couldn't quite get out into the open. Neutrino's trying to spam down the point, but there's really no connections happening, and now Zai is going to take an extra step over through the Godlike spawn. Doesn't quite find the eliminations, but once more, builds a lot of breathing room, you would think, for Wolves, but Trunks from the pinch is shutting everything down with the claw.
Eventually,
right back in, and Godlike will get at least a little bit of time here before Wolves can reaggress.
Getting some shades of that takeoff map number 1, where Wolves had a really good P1, then P2. We got some operators online for Godlike, and they were able to clap back on P3. Down to just 10 seconds or so, and Wolves are doing a great job of just keeping things contested, but it's all of that, plus the rotation coming through from Godlike. You already have Learn lurking over by P4.
I would love to see Learn get into open hall here and just try to win that position, let his team rotate to join him, but instead he's going to play right on top of the hill. A little bit of a battle here with Zai, who is off to a great start. 12 total kills and
अरे SMG निकालना पड़ेगा. इस मैप में SMG ही खेलना पड़ेगा. बिना SMG के नहीं होगा. SMG खेलना पड़ेगा. बहुत सेक्सी. बहुत पीछे से आ गया. पीछे से आ गया. ये बोला पीछे से आ गया. पीछे से आ गया.
Elimination is good. Mantles over the top, finds the second. Teammates doing the exact same thing. It's like whack-a-mole over this water ledge.
नहीं बढ़िया. Prevail ने वो बढ़िया खेला. वही गजब. Prevail की. भाई equalizer वो भी भाई.
What a play from Prevail. Hunter Killer drone also spent. Trades are decent, and
unfortunately
they couldn't really follow up on a big play for Prevail.
No, not when Wolves are still spawning over by the boathouse previously. I mean, he can 1v4, but those respawns were so damn close for Wolves, so they can recontest P4.
नहीं हो गया. आ गया.
10 seconds should at least be looked at if you are Wolves, so at least get
next
themselves over 100 points at the end of the first set. But it's no easy entrance whatsoever, at least Zai through the open stairs.
चाइना वाले बहुत उछलते हैं भाई. कितने फिंगर खेल रहे हैं.
First set of hard points coming through from Wolves, 98-66.
It almost feels like a broken record in certain ways. We've seen this time and time again.
नहीं हो जाएगा. Second वाला अगर हो सकता है.
When they were playing their first map here versus Wolves, slow starts, but they're keeping themselves in the game. We still need to see that one beacon that shows us that Godlike can get control of a hard point and hold it. Has not fully happened yet. And as you rotate back over towards Fountain, Wolves have done well in the first 20 seconds to gain more time.
Prevail spotting over by P3, set himself up with a little pinch up through upper halls, and well, he's probably going to need it considering that everybody from Wolves Esports are just putting them in the absolute blender down low.
Yeah.
This is a decent amount of time to soak at P1 if you are Wolves.
Yeah, very much so the case. Grows their lead to a very high margin. Over towards Garage, that would be the next thing up.
ये घुस क्यों नहीं रहा है समझ नहीं आया पहले तो बढ़िया वो कर रहे थे क्या दिक्कत है
Just trying to play for rotation here. This is a lot of time to give away to Wolves. So the marginal lead that we were just saying Godlike have done well to keep, at least within grips, has all of a sudden become a bit more of a blowout. 50-point gap. King, Sparrow doesn't expect Trunks to slip through, so he sneaks out a kill. Claw now coming forward, predicting the play over through the side closet, but instead takes it over towards the front doors, and that's where the majority of this Wolves team is coming from. Water now
उसको पता चल गया
back over. Neutrino's able to help out, and there we go. Clean kill feed for Godlike, and the hold is good.
War Machine also invested for Neutrino. trying to at least cement this hold, at least through the opening few.
Gajab.
Members from Wolves. EMP was also invested from Wolves, but they hold on. Zai has a claw. Now coming through the staircase on the side, you feel like that he needs to find more just to be able to get that break, but can only find 3 reinforcements.
Double kill.
This is it, though.
Double kill to
definitely finding themselves again. That footing in this map. The trend's starting to change just a touch. Wolves looking at this last 20 seconds, saying, hey, we need to hit this. Zai from the water, able to find the opener. Able to also clear off Lambo. Good power position dealt with. And now all of a sudden, Wolves have control over the scrap time. Godlike are also being pinned to the back.
Next जा रहे वो लोग rotation ले रहे एक वो बंदा है पीछे
watching this rotation through well. So a big moment on this rotation that Wolves have a significant advantage in. All Godlike are going to be split spawn on their approach over to the third hill.
Got 3 members though that spawn over on the right side of the map. 2 players trying to cut through the top side of hallways, and I think it's going to catch Wolves a little bit by surprise. Learn has himself an Annihilator, trying to utilize that bad boy to get inside of the current hill, but the gunnies just a little bit too strong. Wolves are pushing them back.
Good patience here from Godlike, but better positioning from Wolves. 157 to 103. Long range shots from Neon, of course they're good. A B, Sparrow trying to get something done individually, not going to work out. From the back, you've got Trunks up top towards Patio, trying to assist, trying to open up some space. He will get all the way around the back, and that will move spawns around just a touch, but the gap continues to grow in favor of Wolves. 171 to 103. Pretty called in, that will land from Neon. And this could very well be Wolves starting to get 200-point threshold very quickly.
Yeah, I'll say.
पूरा चीजें कंट्रोल करना एक ही बार में हार्ड हो रहा है. नाइस बढ़िया. गन पावर ठीक है, मतलब खराब नहीं है, बट दिक्कत है कि वो देखो वो ये जो ऑपरेटर ये वो जो उसने टैक्टिकल फेंका बहुत तगड़ा फेंका था टैक्टिकल. नहीं बढ़िया. नाइस गजब नाइस.
And he's now thinking about going bottom bar. This could catch Wolves by surprise.
Oh, nice. Wow, nice.
One runs out of ammunition, swaps back over.
बढ़िया गया था ये सब था.
Prevail has to do this with the SMG, losing the equalizer. A nice double, make that 3 for Prevail. King's on the outside looking in, and there's really no way he gets up this ledge. So here we go. Godlike needed something convincing, and now they may have it. War Machine getting popped, trying to find this last 25 seconds, and that would put them right back in this game.
Sure would. 20 seconds. Needs to be
नहीं सपोर्ट आ गया Zai को ही मार दिया.
And Wolves are still trying to battle over this 10 seconds because why the hell not? Before we go back over towards P1, in a massive hunter-killer drone comes in for Learn, shuts down the push from at least 2. 5 seconds to at least be contested, and Wolves will still
nice lead. Nice lead.
Godlike has to find good control over the top of this next hard point. You don't anticipate being able to chew into this lead too much on P1. But if you can make life difficult for Wolves, find a couple of seconds here and there, that's how you claw your way back in. For Wolves, though, if you can find a way to get some control and earn more time, it puts you well within win condition going over towards Garage. Lots of things on the line over the top of Avery against the Hardpoint. Back and forth we go, the opening kills. 45 seconds to fight for. Trunks inside the smoke. Just trying to delay the inevitable. Was Shake. With a couple of kills to follow, Wolves will get a little bit of extra time.
Learn बढ़िया sexy.
All this is happening down low, and Godlike are trying to rotate to flip the map around, but they aren't really finding the kills to allow themselves to do it. So now they take their focus back towards the hill, and that's where they find the kills needed to at least contest this hard point.
The leader's advantage even goes beyond the scoreline that Wolves currently have. They have 5 operators at their disposal, comparatively to Learn, that has an Annihilator. Sure, but he needs to pop off with it. Has 36 kills to his name, but this rotation over towards Noon needs to hold off for what would you feel like, maybe 2 gunfights plus maybe 4 operators at the least?
Well, so far so good. Nothing's been popped yet for Wolves, and Godlike have good control. Bottom side spiral, clean kill feed. Do they get a read on where Wolves are spawning? Learn pops the Annihilator. Abiz gets the Sparrow out. Both players are going to need to find the way to get kills with these. And the shots just quite landing. King able to take down 1. Learn taking his attention back over the hill. Able to get 2 with the Annihilator. But on the flip side, here come all those Wolves operators, and that'll be enough for them to break from the front. Still not out of contest yet. Neon is a little bit worrisome that Godlike's spawning behind. That's not the case. And Trunks gets a lot of clearance back over towards the hill. Neon not landing with the War Machine until the last shot, and Godlike have pushed off almost every single operator from Wolves, and they are very much so still alive.
No, it was every single operator there, brother. And now Prevail pulls out his equalizer, battling inside a bottom mansion. King will shut him down from the range. But that is worrisome. if you are Wolves, that you had to invest that much just for a mere break.
ये गेम नहीं निकल रहा यार
gets the job
लगने का
done. Peg there with the Purifier keeps them at bay. Furthermore, getting closer to 250 points.
Yeah, that's a big difference maker right there. Godlike a chance to possibly re-break, find the last 30 seconds, but a Purifier solo play plus the extra attention from Wolves through mid puts this game nearly out of reach. Has to be flawless for Godlike.
कमबैक हो जाए तो हो सकता है
Taking the high ground,
ठीक है
try to play this as kind of a break attack.
हो सकता है
Godlike
भाई
stretching this hill out as much as humanly possible. And the hunt is on. Where are these Wolves members? And Zai has just completely eluded them. Gets Neutrino from behind, pops up, finds himself a little drop shot for a second. 5 seconds, all that's needed. Wolves looking good to close this one out, but do get pushed completely off the hard point. Godlike need to win this.
नहीं वो रोटेशन अकेला संभाल रहा है भाई कोशिश कर रहा है
And they know they have to spend everything right now.
वो रोटेशन अकेला संभाल रहा है भाई बढ़िया 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 सेक्सी
At least this War Machine trying to keep them at bay over by fences. Hardpoint still contested. 20 seconds left to be soaked up here for Godlike. Looking pretty good for them to get it. You still have at least a few more players to worry about. Peg gets dealt a swift death, but now you have numbers here for Wolves. They've broken in.
Nice sexy
4 seconds to
बहुत
still be earned
sexy
off the scrap time. Last player up is Prevail. Steps away after finding the first 2 kills. Off the reload. He's got help nearby. 6 seconds to fight for, and the contest will allow another hard point to be seen. Still a lot to be asked though of Godlike. Here comes the play for rotation. Clean kills on exit. Godlike can move quickly here. Wolves spawning on both sides, east and west on the bottom side of the map. Hardpoint will open, Wolves get in. Prevail has to go. He's got to find a way to get on in. He only gets a small moment of contest.
बढ़िया contest था बढ़िया एक किसी को इधर आना चाहिए था
Hardpoint and most in particular, Zai had a monster map.
हाँ
everything we asked for, Alan, and design Christmas. That's insane. Look, when it comes down to Hacienda, when it comes down to Respawn as a whole, you go back to that Takeoff map number 1, and it was uncharacteristically terrifying for Wolves. They only had at least one of their players frying at a moment's notice. You come into Hacienda, map number 4.
खेलना पड़ेगा भाई बहुत खेलना पड़ेगा तब जाएगा.
All of the operator usage as well, being a great boon of success for them on a lot of these different rotations, shutting down Godlikes at almost every single turn.
हाँ अपने आप सब यहाँ पर.
Was really scared as far as operator usage was concerned was on P2 in the final set.
Sure, yeah, no, it's absolutely right. It is one of those moments where, like you mentioned, leader's advantage was just so heavily stacked for Wolves. And even though, again, like we continue to talk about, Godlike kept themselves in the game maybe longer than you would have expected, considering how the patterns of the map were moving. Wolves coming out on top of a number of the opening hard points. You got to give a little bit of credit that Godlike can stay in as long as they do. But 52 kills for Trunks, not enough to get over the 200-point mark. Zai goes 37 and 39, 52 kills for Neon. And across the board, everyone's looking pretty healthy. I mean, there's really no one that's standing out too badly, although I will say that comparison between Abiz, what we were talking about, he was not nearly as much of a threat this game, going just 30 and 43.
Kills were almost just about even.
Yeah, really were.
Across the board.
Quick maths.
It just... Look, man, I don't have my TI-83 Plus calculator with me, but I'm at least looking at the numbers, and they look pretty darn even across the board, which is even more alarming when you're thinking about where were these kills for Godlike even coming from across the map.
It really felt like a lot of it came on rotation or in scrap time.
Sure.
Where, like, again, it's nice to have, but it's not a difference maker in a game that
वो मैप थोड़ा hard रहता है.
That's right.
You know, through the first set of hard points. So, yeah, it is a good point out, I think.
मतलब फिर भी उन्होंने last time उसके against में LG के against में बढ़िया खेला था.
Definitely kind of favored that of how Wolves were able to kind of use that as a chance to dominate over the objective. So, transitioning away, we're back to another search and destroy here.
वो शायद वो Abiz है शायद middle वाला.
Great playground for Wolves, kind of historically.
वो ऊपर नाम लिखा होगा देखना उनके सर के ऊपर नाम लिखा होगा उनका ध्यान से देखना.
But it's one of those that we kind of saw them really utilize in CDFI to really kind of get into a position to be that major search and destroy threat from China, and they were able to do so.
ये चाइना वालों ने किलो 1-for-1 का बढ़िया यूज किया. ट्रंक से Abiz वो उधर वाला चश्मा सफेद चश्मा.
Mostly from one player in particular, we've been singing his praise the entire day so far.
Yeah, dude.
And that's Neon.
Absolutely.
With the amount of long lines of sights that are available for you on Tunisia and how quick he can snap onto many different opponents on Tunisia, I'd be terrified for that. It's the same exact problem that might come back to haunt Godlike that we saw in the firing range map too.
Yeah, it is one of those situations where I think if you're Godlike, you can make the same decisions of, do we want to try to square up, 1v1 him? or are we just going to try to completely avoid him? I will say that the only kind of benefit of playing in Tunisia is that you do have
अरे
the
वो
opportunity to
चाहिए
really
होता है
utilize
ना,
good
जैसे ये
scopes and
मोबाइल
get
वगैरह
much
तो
snipers out of
सैमसंग
their
उधर
common positions.
कोरिया से
So
भेजता
I
है,
would prefer
तो
them, I think,
उसको
based on what we
ट्रांसपोर्ट
saw
तो
in Fire
करवाना है.
Range, to try to rely on their utility to find where Neon is, rather than trying to just dry peek him with another scope. Whether or not that happens is a different
टूनिशिया
story.
ये
Wolves will be starting things
तगड़ा
off
मूव
defensively.
जैसे
Godlike on the
और
offense and the opening nades all through middle map, and Wolves are
बहुत
here to
तगड़ा
take
मूव.
the battle. Oh boy, first 10 seconds gone, first 3 lives
हाँ
gone for
हाँ
Godlike.
Battle in the middle of the map is an alarming thing. They took down Neon, so the raid boss was at least dealt a swift demise to start things off, but this neutrino, 1v odd situation, and he tries to hold down the trigger. He gets sniped out from the map, and again, this is everything you're
चाइना वाले जीते हैं.
roster. They can snipe you through these longer lines of sight.
चाइना वाले जीते हैं भाई, देखो ध्यान से अभी Godlike
King is maybe the jump snipe king right now.
Probably.
Wow, he's been hitting some wild shots. Trophy systems down this time for Godlike. Smoke over the middle of the map, and they are continuing to push right on through. But look at this defense over towards the B side, or part of the A side of the map. Wolves are trying to also push through the choke point, see if they can catch Godlike off guard, but it doesn't work out. So now you've got a full surround of this A site. The Wolves defenders completely isolated. Can Zai keep his life? So far, so good, but eventually traded out. On the rotation, it's just up to King. 1v2. First shot lands clean. Lots of time on the clock. Trunks thinking maybe he could get a set nade. He's not even going to play for the bomb. He wants to play for the kill.
I'm not surprised.
bomb को hold करना चाहिए Trunks.
Look at the call for
Bomb
King.
camp करना चाहिए वो.
Again, who's playing with the sniper versus the sub from Trunks is starting to flip the map. He already cleared B. Now he can make two different decisions. Wrap back through the offensive spawn, go back to check B, guarantee it's going to A.
At the same rate, because of how much time has been taken off the clock, Trunks is going to have to back up to get this bomb and likely play for a plant.
अगर A plant किया तो chances है Trunks के लिए. A plant किया तो chances है उसके पास.
And it looks like King is pretty happy just to play over towards backside arches on the B side of the map.
नहीं लिया.
See contact come through, and Trunks is going to say, brother, I can understand you're trying to play for the kill, but give yourself at least the opportunity to plant the bomb, then he will collect and make his way back over towards A quickly.
Through barrels.
Back कर रहा, जल्दी आ भाई, जल्दी plant कर. जल्दी plant
But
कर.
the timing might be impeccable, depending on where this bomb's pointed for and where Trunks tries to go in the post.
That's the biggest thing about it. King moving quickly. Oh, gets there just before Trunks can find an exit. And it was just like a really long game of trading points between two of those players before eventually they met up to trade power pieces. So Wolves are up 2-0 up, and a 1v2 clutch comes through for King.
This is an insane decision to be made there. If you are Trunks, again,
इनका sniper बहुत अच्छा चलता है भाई.
Close, he gets through winery, through barrels.
Sniper बहुत तगड़ा है.
The one place he doesn't check was his own spawn. 2 rounds.
अभी 4 में 4 जीतना होगा total.
Something needs to change offensively here for Godlike.
Agreed. This time there will be no aggression for the side of Godlike, just trying to wait out maybe the opening nades that we've seen time and time again for Wolves. But honestly, Wolves don't really throw many. You still got a lot of nades by the look of it left across the inventory, so Godlike don't really get what they were hoping for, which was early investment for Wolves. And now you kind of got to feel out the map without knowing what's at mid, not knowing what's on that early A cross. There's a lot of question marks here for Godlike, not seeing many nades be thrown over the top.
What's Trunks' plan over here?
Yeah.
He hasn't fully covered all of the B bomb site. There are 2 players here defensively. You can almost hear a pin drop on this Tunisia, while Godlike are searching desperately
Domination नहीं होता है, domination नहीं होता भाई.
Neon is the one
Hardpoint ही होता है.
Trunks over towards the B side of the map.
Control होता है.
Ratty spot, saying I'm just going to wait for people to rotate over. This is a good call here from Godlike. Yeah, we're short-sighted on B, but Godlike make the quick decision to make the play over towards the A site instead. Trunks now joining them, or tried to before Peg got the elimination. So 4v3 situation for Godlike. Neon still alive, King still alive. That may be all that's needed. But it's Peg first and foremost. Well, he may have not needed the help for the second. He still got it. B's up top. Oh, quick shots come through. King misses the opener. Hits for the first. 1v1.
अरे यार.
King with another 1v2.
ये sniper इनका बहुत तगड़ा चलता है यार.
Back-to-back 1v2 clutches. No, they always say if you come for the King, you best not miss. Twice. 5 kills to King, 3 rounds for Wolves, and Godlike had everything going right for them in that previous round.
Now a quick
smoke
hit
smoke
similarly, so
smoke
playing a heavy stack, looking to get into winery at A.
7 नहीं 4 जीतना होता है बेस्ट ऑफ 7 में वो जीतना होता है 4 जीतना टारगेट 7 है अच्छा 7 है
if anyone oversteps their bounds, and Trunks is thinking about it here. Can King keep the hot hand?
पीछे से आ रहे ये लोग पीछे से आ रहे हैं
And Godlike aren't planning. They're trying to find an exit through mid. There are players here though, but they're caught on sprint. Shing only able to get one. Learn with the trade, and Godlike will establish at least some level of control in the numbers.
Kings को पहले मारो. Kings वो कर रहा, फॉल कर रहा.
Be snappy with it. 3v3.
वो भागेंगे, वो उनका काम ही होता है वो.
Check the A bomb, and by the time they're done checking this side of the map, they're actually going to have a little bit of a pinch. Should Peg be able to fish out some timing from the offensive spawn?
How do you break this down?
Peg आ रहा है. Peg ही आ रहा है.
From one side could start things off and keep the focus on him while his other two teammates come from behind, or it could be vice versa. Well, Peg did try to make an early move. Trunks there to meet him. Any more heroics? King and Neon last alive. Running right by one another, but Trunks gets his weapon out first and finds the easy kill into Neon. But we've seen this story before. King
यही मारा चल बचा हुआ. नहीं
down low,
कुछ नहीं मार दिया बीच ने पिस्टल से मार दिया लौंडे को घेर के मार दिया.
So maybe that's just like the overall that he can't do. 1v2s, yeah, sure, we've seen it 2 times. 1v3, probably not. The aggression looks good on you, Godlike. Moving their way over towards B, and Wolves are trying to play this like a chessboard, where they're trying to constantly get over towards A. It seems
वो बहुत sexy नेट था ये. अरे और वो बचा भाई 1 HP पे बचा वो भाई.
Towards his spawn, but this is interesting. Wolves are going to go with the exact same defensive setup where they're trying to clear through barrels, but Godlike are aware of what happened last round, and they're already primed up and ready for this. And yeah, they do see the cross, and that's enough for them to say, we don't have the opportunity to go over towards A. Let's go join Trunks on the B site and see if we can overwhelm whoever's there.
We saw this 2 rounds ago. Offensively, the difference is that nobody from Wolves is actually going to push up. So realistically, Trunks needs to try to fish out a timing. They don't know how clear this B site is.
Oh, but is it clear? King is still up.
Kings मारा भाई. What a play.
Wolves not playing off the flank they did last time. They're going to take the safe route back. King gets pressured, but it doesn't make a difference. You can just give him RPOV the entire way through.
Oh, nice. Finally.
Bomb gets planted. Numbers start to become a little bit more level. 4v3
Simon आया क्या? ध्यान नहीं दिया भाई.
Learn up top, denies anything from getting too far forward, but Zai follows in for the trade. Bomb now being defused. Can the Bees get here in time to deny this? No, he's kept off, and Wolves will go up 4-1.
Wolves in search and destroy again. It is adapt, understand, and then overcome, and then adapt some more. It's just really tough when you are Trunks in that perspective.
नहीं यार नेगेटिव मत सोचो, पॉजिटिव सोचो. हो सकता है इनका एसएनडी स्ट्रांग है, कुछ नहीं कर सकते, तो ठीक है, चिल करो, हो सकता है अभी भी.
Neon down low hasn't really been needed to do too much on this opening cross towards A. Godlike probably very aware that if you cross, you're probably going to meet the other end of a sniper rifle. Trunks once again just kind of lingering over towards the platforms over at B. Godlike have not really committed too much to mid since the opening 2 rounds. Would be curious to see if they try to do something delayed through mid in this round, try to change it up a little bit.
It's the opening nades that are coming through from Wolves that are deterring them from wanting to try to get through the middle of the map. But the bomb has made its way over towards B. King is playing in a position where he can't necessarily see this push come through, so it's going to be a full 5v5 retake.
And it looks like a lot of this retake may actually lurk through middle, Prevail, just lurking his way further up, making sure no one gets through connector. Bees and Neutrino also part of the play. Wolves will have to retake this from the front. No opportunity to make a play through mid.
3v4.
He's going to be the next one probably to get activated from this position as soon as contact is made by his teammates. And it's taking a long while, but here come Wolves finally. King going to watch over towards the cross. Trunks gets taken down. Godlike in a little bit of trouble here off this setup, especially if King can find a shot to land. Oh my goodness, he does it again. Unbelievable.
They had everything stacked against them in that post-plant situation.
Absolutely.
Clock was against them. Numbers were against them.
ये तुरंत इन लोगों को आ जाना चाहिए था यार, अगर ये ऊपर प्लान दे रहा तो.
Absolutely absurd. Just what we were seeing in the prices of Neon for sniping his buttocks off. King shows up in a massive way. 8 kills on a single half. Wolves 2 rounds away.
Very convincing stuff from Wolves. Can they find same success stories here on their offense?
नहीं अगर चिल करेंगे तो ये बंदा भाई यार स्नाइपर यार बहुत ज्यादा तगड़ा खेल रहा है। देखो देखो नहीं अभी से निकाला नाइस अभी से निकाला
the first, the Beast does eventually put down the raid boss. Zai, good timing here, but can't quite lock down the shots. Finally, the kills come through, and Wolves will dominate the A site. Last one left is Neutrino is only able to find one, and it's just there's no counter for what King and Neon have done on both of our two search and destroy.
इनका स्नाइपिंग यार तगड़ा है, स्नाइपिंग के चक्कर में वो जा रहा है क्योंकि सिंगल शॉट है लॉन्ग रेंज से।
A handful of milliseconds before he scopes in and pulls the trigger.
हाँ late to that peak.
He was.
हाँ बस
Party started at 7. Showed up at 7:15.
His centering is freaking
हाँ वही इंडिया वाले यार
ऐसे towards a first blood again for Wolves. It's via the name.
हाँ
Prevail through mid-map, may catch one,
देखो
but no
अरे
on the gunfight. Follow-up also not there. Neutrino shoved
क्या
away.
कर रहे भाई?
King continues to hit. He gets the last one. I mean, are you kidding me? Put that thing away. There's ladies present. 7-1 in the map, and King just dominate from start to finish.
There's ladies present. There are kids watching. A little bit of a pop-off as well there for Wolves standing up. You got to be feeling pretty darn good if you are this Wolves roster. I mean, winning back-to-back maps, one of the Hacienda. We knew that Tunisia was going to be a difficult one, to say the least. Just stylistically, as far as playstyles are concerned, I didn't expect that steep scoreline, though. That is absurd.
I mean,
फिर भी ये लोग कोशिश तो कर ही रहे हैं। चलो फर्स्ट टाइम है एकदम कंप्लीटली फर्स्ट टाइम है गॉड लाइक के लिए। काला जादू
hard scope pre-angles and hitting. They're jump peaks. They're in your face shutdowns. They're 1v2s.
He's jumping around doing tricks on the map.
I'm saying
it's absolutely insane. Like, to say that you're confident is one thing. Here's the little pop-up that I saw over my shoulder there at the end of the map. Like, these guys are confident, and that's putting it lightly. 11-3. And how many of those 8 rounds would you say that you probably found first bloods? I would probably say about like maybe 5.
I was gonna say at least 5.
At least 1 for sure.
I mean,
and the thing about it is that this is everything that was missing from previous maps where you do have Neon sniping and a respawn per se, is that King's finding this opening engagement, and the rest of the team is able to benefit from it. So much map was taken away just from King's existence.
Unreal. And this is what we were afraid of seeing from China this weekend.
That's right.
Oh man,
they're pretty good at search, man.
Yeah. And it's like I almost want to like combat my own point. Like, are they really good at search, or are they just really good sniper rifles? Because like you really never had to see complex strategies be pulled out or adaptations or adjustments because King is just fragging everybody.
4K no los dos.
Yeah, true. This guy, dude, my guy in the front is vibing.
Yeah,
I love it.
He's having a good time.
Rightfully so. What a show. Okay, we have to calm down. Get ourselves back into level footing because we're going to a raid control next. And this is one of those maps that, again, I was really kind of shaky about when it came to Wolves overall. It had been their hard veto. They had a couple of set ideas in terms of playing for that, what we like to call the Zim spawn trap on defense, getting all the way through Garage, forcing them to spawn in towards the gym. They pulled that versus Elevate, but still were losing rounds.
Yeah.
Did the same thing versus Q9 on their first defense, but then eventually kind of locked it up. Do you think they've learned enough, though, to stop this godlike team who has really looked good on raid control generally?
I want to say yes, just because of how decisive we were able to see them win those rounds on raid control just last series versus Q9. All things considered, I don't know how much it has to do with statistics and history on raid control. I think it has everything to do with the bounce back for Godlike. Losing the last 2 maps the way they did, decisively losing the last 2 maps they did.
That's a big
They have to hit a hard regain if they want to see that meltdown map number 5 or 7.
Because Godlike's going to start on offense because this is their map.
Full power 24/11.
So,
अरे डीसी वालों की आवाज में बंद कर रखा था, अभी ऑन किया आपके बोलते।
and getting over to a meltdown map number 7.
मेल्टडाउन में यार करना चाहिए भाई, मेल्टडाउन में इनको निकालना चाहिए।
तुम लोग बताओ
There's a little
हमारे
bit more magic there if they can get it. Otherwise, Wolves came in and they said it themselves. We expect to be in the grand finals. We expect to win this thing. They've been putting in the time. They've been putting in the work. They may have fallen a little bit short in the most recent China.
पानी वानी पीना पड़ता है भाई.
They overcame some pretty great
अगर आप
adversity.
सोच रहे हैं कि हम धूम्रपान करने जा रहे हैं,
अरे
नहीं हम लोग कुछ और सोच रहे हैं.
हम तो
नहीं तो
हम कुछ भी नहीं सोच रहे. हम लोग कुछ
नहीं इससे पहले आप सोचो, मैं बता दे रहा हूँ 2 मिनट में नहीं झड़ेगा मेरा.
नहीं ना तो मैं धूम्रपान सोच रहा था, मैं सुसु सोच रहा था, मैं कुछ और सोच रहा था.
अरे ले ये तो कहीं और पहुंचा दिए भाई.
कहाँ तक पहुँच गए भाई.
अबे 6,000 रुपए कोई लगाएगा 2 मिनट के लिए, क्या बात बोल रहे
हो. लोग 2 मिनट के 6,000 के 10,000 लगा देते.
चलो तुम लोग कंटिन्यू करो, बात मैं आ रहा हूँ.
Just to force out a meltdown, map number 7 for a chance to like one.
So everyone's starting to lock in. Has to be getting close to loading on up map number 6.
सुनो जाने के पहले एक चीज बता दे रहा हूँ. किसी ने 5 घंटे इतना बड़ा हेडफोन लगा के लगातार बतिया के देखना क्या फील होता है. तब इस 2 मिनट का मतलब समझ में आएगा कि क्या होगा.
नहीं डॉक्टर मैं हेडफोन ही लगाता हूँ, इतना दर्द नहीं करता
भाई. 5 घंटा
अन्य 5 घंटे मेरा 12 घंटा हो जाता है.
तो स्टार्ट हो गया भाई.
बोलते रहते हो आप?
नहीं बोलता नहीं रहता हूँ.
तो बोल के देखो, फिर देखो चीक्स कितना ज्यादा दर्द करता है ना भाई.
हाँ वो तो
अरे कान भी दर्द करता है भाई.
चलो इधर मैं साउंड ऑन कर रहा हूँ. गेम स्टार्ट हो गया, आप लोग चीयर अप करिए, मैं आ रहा हूँ.
Of Godlike. Yeah. Seems to be the case so far. Godlike at least answered back with the opening skirmish here.
Control चल रहा है.
Not a whole lot
हो
of
जाएगा.
two zones, a lot of lives.
ओ भाई अबीज
चल रहा है.
सेक्सी मारा अबीज ने.
I still can't get over the fact that Godlike chose it, which means that Wolves have the choice of what side to start on. And they decided to start on offense. And they're getting smoked right now. Abiz through the window at Van. He's already got himself a hunter killer drone. Helps on the way through pillars. Wolves finally find a couple of kills, but it's an 8-life deficit. And Godlike are all over this B zone.
40 seconds remaining.
Oh भाई, learn भाई.
India जीत गई. Does he have to find a kill?
कौन था भाई ये?
इंडिया होता
है. अरे दोनों तरफ से पिंच हो गया उसका. ए पे बंदा है यार.
Strange to say the least.
अभी वो बहुत तगड़ा मार रहा है.
2012 सेक्सी.
This is very puzzling and believe
अरे
me,
एक कैप्चर होने से फर्क नहीं पड़ता. मतलब वो फाइनल तुम्हारे ठीक ही है, लाइक दोनों को संभालना नहीं पड़ता सर.
I'm going to be having some questions for what this side
अंतर है तुम ज्यादा किल
बहुत सेक्सी.
कितना सेक्सी है. 17 ओ भाई
15 to 9. Oh 9 48 nice. Oh 7 47 nice gap. Oh 14 6 5 6 ये भी जाएगा.
अभी लोग होल्ड
ये लोग होल्ड करेंगे. अभी गॉर्डन लोग होल्ड करेंगे. चाह रहे कि वो लोग आए.
अच्छा मैं कैमरा नहीं ऑन कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं खा रहा हूँ.
ठीक है आप खा लो कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
बहुत तेज भूख लगी है.
मैं शुरू में इसलिए खा लिया था. ये देखो ये देख गया. ओ गजब. काफी बढ़िया कोशिश था.
11 plays up against 6.
बढ़िया कोशिश था.
Neutrino stepping in towards garage.
ये वाला देखो 2 बंदे का पुश करेगा. 2 और 3 का बंदे का पुश करेगा.
उनको मालूम है ना कि उससे जब ऐसे नहीं हो पाएगा ना.
देखो
जो वो देख लिया. अभी गजब 3
Gets himself a double.
अभी ओपी भाई
Clock will
War
stop
mission
at
Neutrino.
11.
Nice.
V3, no
Good play
need to
by
rush here.
Neutrino, bro.
And
Good play by
finally,
Neutrino.
Neutrino with the machine to land.
Kill
Follow
दिया,
Bales
kill
there.
दिया,
Just
kill
in
दिया।
the
Ah.
and isn't able to do anything. Neutrino bails him out with the war machine.
छील लिया
Thought that was going to be a full hold.
भाई इसमें तो
Thanks for starting off on that side. So able to convert 3 seconds of progression. Massive stuff.
भाई दे रहे मतलब क्या भाई मेहनत किया है
गणपति बाप्पा मोरिया बॉयज
Moria. Oh, that was a good shot, bro. Good start.
He doesn't have a good
ट्रॉक्स 4 किल देखो ये
24 bro
And now you got the opportunity.
Good start, bro. Good
गुड
start.
स्टार्ट 2024 ओपी साइज
First stick of progress is already locked, second rapidly on the way, and Wolves will surely have to chalk this and try to set up an A defense.
नहीं खत्म हो जाता ना
Opening break
मरने ही वाला
off
था
once
वो दो
again.
बंदे थे
Looking good for Godlike. Third segment on its way over at B, and they are just having one player soak up that zone. One player playing back laundry, trying to play the cutoff.
Oh, nice
Allowing
Neutrino.
more information to be at least traded out for Godlike. as they try to
Neutrino
maneuver their way
Neutrino
past the Tiki bar, getting themselves closer towards that A zone, but they've given up a lot of the middle of the map along the way.
Nice trunks. Good play, trunks. Good play.
अरे
They like to try to get
trans OP rotation
Not
but
as much
it's
success.
okay.
They're calling to see if King can come back to help set up this defense. Kills decent as Wolves try to dig into the life deficit.
Oh.
Playing 19.
चार
Lots of
करो,
time
दो,
on
दो,
the
दो,
clock. You also got to
Oh,
keep in
भाई,
mind that
इसमें तो-
Neon's going to be an issue with this scope as he takes it forward. Is he going to find free space? He pulls out the Sparrow as to predict that Godlike we're going to hit this through waterfall side, but that's not the case. And now he's got to rotate back over towards pillars. These would be desperate Sparrow bolts to connect. And this may be a wasted operator here.
फटी है अब चाइना वालों की
ये लोग फुल रोटेशन ले लिए
19 plays up against 21.
अरे तो ये सब
Godlike are more than happy with just buying their time. Completely exhausted. Claw now with
ये सब इनका अपना वो वेस्ट कर रहे हैं ये लोग अपना सारा ऑपरेटर वेस्ट कर रहे हैं भाई गजब है सही है
हाँ देखो ना ये घबरा गए
हाँ ये लोग घबरा गए
अंडर प्रेशर आए हैं ये लोग ले लिया है गियर में
ये फिर देखो और एक ऑपरेटर वेस्ट किया
Analyzer.
Eventually, Godlike has to make a move, and it's all going to come around the back.
सारे निकल जा रहे हैं सारे ऑपरेटर खत्म
Still executed patience from Godlike. Collapse from Zyme. Is there going to be more to follow? Zyme runs out of the map. Now it's just down to can they do a kill conversion where Trunks gives up from the gunfight before he finishes the kill.
Nice.
And Wolves will take
अरे 30 सेकंड बचा वो देखो ना बस 30 सेकंड बचा वो देखो 25 सेकंड बस 20 सेकंड ओपी जीत जाएंगे
I mean, here's the thing, though. You utilize all those operators. But think about how much clock just got exhausted to at least extend the round. Sniper in the hand of Neon. Golly, this guy is nuts, but he's only able to convert himself onto 3 kills in a row before you end up finding
टाइम नहीं
on the Godlike.
अब टाइम नहीं हो गया खत्म
7 plays 11. This is the last opportunity. With only a second on the clock, and anyone touches time to delay the clock. Yes. Oh no. Just for a moment. Abi's got there to stall it at 0.00. But still, that trade comes through, and Wolves will hold on defensively. We go 1-1.
Only allowing 3 seconds off of another great opening break.
ये फिर दोबारा मुझे लग रहा है 3-2 कुछ ऐसा ही होने वाला गॉडलाइक के साथ गॉडलाइक भी उससे पिछले वाले में भी 3-2 किया था इस बार भी लग रहा है 3-2 करेगा
अभी ना 50-50 चांस लग रहा है कि लाइक पूरा कौन जीतेगा लाइक पूरा ये गेम नहीं
ओ नाइस नाइस
दोनों टीमें इक्वली गुड हैं
इक्वली
हाँ ये है
इन लोगों का एसएनडी क्या है एकदम पावरफुल है और
बस इनका एसएनडी पावरफुल है बस राउंड सोफी राउंड तो भाई
इन लोग का लेकिन जो स्नाइपर है यार वो सेक्सी है मतलब वो मानना पड़ेगा
इंडिया वालों का एआर थोड़ा अच्छा रहता है एसएनजी से भी अगर
नियान ने लिटरली कैरी कर रहा पूरी टीम को अगर ध्यान से देखो
हाँ इनका नियान और किंग्स मिलके ही वो कर रहा है पूरा काम
क्या कैरी कर रहा है पूरा
कैरी कर रहा है पूरा
अभी फिलहाल तो सचिन भाई चाइना एक से लीड पे है लेकिन अब देखते हैं इस गेम में क्या होगा
flush out this elimination, but Trunks is still trying to press a little bit forward. The more kills that he can find on this side of the map shift, The more time can be exhausted from the clock.
नहीं अपने रिकॉर्डिंग
क्लोज मैच चल रहा है 22-22
force Wolves to have to kind of play around the long side of the map.
पर्सी तो वो नहीं होगा ना
नहीं इसमें पर्सी नहीं होगा
इसमें पर्सी अलाउड ही
Hold
नहीं
on a second. Wolves can actually get themselves
पर्सी
an
क्या?
offensive spawn trap here.
Persistence.
Which they are. They've been
अच्छा
kitchen. Godlike has to
अलाउड नहीं
rotate
होता है
back.
वर्ल्ड चैंपियन
Defend this Xonten because Wolves are fully healthy now. Neon has got the spear out. Waiting to spawn trap over towards laundry side. Kills
काश एसकेएस अलाउ कर दे मजा ही आ जाएगा अलग लेवल का गेम
एसकेएस अलाउ नहीं कर सकता ना एसकेएस किसका था
Minute 23 in the clock. Here comes the Pred that will, yes, land for another elimination. Wolves should have all the freedom in the world to at least stop the clock, but late heroics from
14-17 लेकिन
Trunks again. Clean things out, and now all of a sudden Wolves have been pushed back.
दे बढ़िया
One player's gonna get cut down again. That was Neon that was pushing all the way over by Jungle. Great kill to at least clear away your spawn.
ऊपर चढ़ गए दो के दोनों
Starting to become a little
पीछे ऊपर से
one-dimensional.
कूद देंगे साले
Everybody spawning parallel over by Waterfall, trying to work their way
बढ़िया
through bottom bench.
बढ़िया sexy
13 हो गया 13 हो गया वो लोग
Reduces
रोटेट
the
कर
life
गए
gap down to just one.
12-13
Still plenty of tools here for Wolves, but you would think they need to find
बैक
some
में देखो एक
distance
कोई
and success towards the
जी
zone before you
जी
can
9
get
फुल
to
गेम्स वाला क्या कह रहा है I don't hate Indian teams. I just saw most teams are used by Indian players. बहुत बड़ी बात.
They're looking for him. Eventually,
chat में देखिए G9 full games.
Two through money window. Through basketball stairs. Kills on both
नहीं
sides.
यूज करते हो Snapdragon वाले chat
for now. Use that for one elimination.
क्या लिखा है
Back out through window.
क्या लिखा है पढ़ने के लिए
Held at bay, and the pinch is good for
Indian team
Trunks.
से
Everything
hit नहीं
getting
करते
cleaned
लेकिन
up.
तो
9v9. Clock stopped at 18 seconds, but Wolves do not have the numbers to keep him on the zone. Have to find a way to get through the front. And the kills are pretty decent.
अरे यार मैं सब्सक्राइबर नहीं हूँ मैं सब्सक्राइबर नहीं हूँ मतलब मैं मेरे पास ओपन पे रहता है मैं जगह चीज की जगह ना बस चिक लिख देता हूँ
बोल देना कि आप हैक यूज कर रहे हो
नाइस प्रेडेटर ब्रो नाइस प्रेडेटर बेट्रंक्स नाइस प्रेडेटर बेट्रंक्स ब्रो नाइस प्रेडेटर
ओ जीत गए नाइस ओपी हां हां
नाइस
3 segments apiece for every
जीत
single
गए
offensive round thus
ये
far.
और एक राउंड
निकालना पड़ेगा
This defense continues to be the favorite side here
ये
on
नहीं
Raid.
निकालेंगे तो ड्रॉ होगा एक और राउंड हो
The
जाएगा
question comes down to Godlike. Can you force
बेस्ट
that
ऑफ 7 है ना
number 5 where you
हाँ
have
बेस्ट ऑफ सेकंड है
अरे कोई को सब्सक्राइब किया क्या स्नैपड्रैगन को सब्सक्राइब किया क्या तो मेरे पास इसका रिप्लाई है जरा लिखना हाँ और मैं इसका रिप्लाई लिखना I don't hate Chinese player but I just saw most
मैं इसको
I just
हटाऊंगा मेरा फुल स्क्रीन हट जाएगा
अरे और किसी ने सब्सक्राइब किया क्या मैं रिप्लाई दूं
कर दो यार तुम रिप्लाई देने में क्या जा रहा है
देखो
अरे नहीं 500 दुखना पड़ेगा
हाँ चौदह को उनकी जली हुई है ये सोचो ना
अरे मेरे पास वो चाइनीज रिप्लाई था मैं बोलता आई डोंट टेक इंडियन टीम्स और चाइनीज टीम आई जस्ट सॉ मोस्ट चाइनीज आर यूज्ड बाय इंडियन
They've got it set up perfectly.
ओ गजब ओ गजब
ओ न्यूट्रिनो
Good play. 6 life, take it 7 life gap favoring Wolves defensively.
This is the worst opening break that we've seen from Godlike this entire control. 23 plays up against 16 and the Bay play just forces them inside of their spawn. Now they have to force their way over towards B. The Black Fan head glitch. Stuck in a 1v1 versus Trunks, who's been electric throughout all the respawns yet today. Able to find some more kills. Now he's looking for more space inside of
kill चाहिए भाई kill चाहिए
Trunks close to having a claw. As we said, he earns it. Clock stops. Second tick of progress at B is underway. Wolves, are they thinking about going for this? Here comes 3 members through mid pillars. Neutrino watching the flank through Art. And very well may just give this up. Here comes the exchange. Free fire from Neutrino.
Nice.
Extra 60
अरे हो गया बी कैप्चर डन अभी ए पुश करना पड़ेगा
Defense has already been secured from that one segment being over at A, so
अभी किल को ले जाना
have
पड़ेगा
that lifeline if you are Godlike. Still trailing by
होल्ड करने के लिए जीत
नाइस न्यू लर्न घुस रहा है अभी धीरे धीरे
Realistically, this tries to go to a round
ओह
5 again.
शिट
Same conversation
नेट बढ़िया था
How many resources can you get out from Wolves?
नहीं अभी भी मौका है
अभी भी मौका है 12 to
They were so cute.
अभी हारे नहीं है
नाइस प्रीवेल नाइस ओहो ट्रेड नहीं हुआ ट्रेड नहीं हुआ रे ट्रेड नहीं हुआ नाइस गजब
मैं अपने लैपटॉप में देखूंगा बहुत बढ़िया
नाइस
गुड प्ले बे गॉड जी ब्रो स्पॉन्स आ गए गॉड जी का
Not able to find anything. Annihilator. Changing focus from front to back if you're learned.
Trunks, good play, good play, Trunks, good play, learn, good play, good play, good play. Go to the point, bro. Hold the point, bro.
नहीं वो alone ना
No.
Hop on here, hop on
अभी
here,
जो
hop on here.
हॉपी प्लेयर अरे भाई
8v8.
Go to the point, bro. अरे go to the point. अरे kills, अरे यार.
ये किल्स पे क्यों खेल रहा है यार अरे यार यार चले जाते यार किसी को ये किल्स पे चले फिर दोबारा इनका बहुत दिक्कत होता है
Easy win हो रहा है.
इजी विन हो रहा था यार
और उसका लर्न है ना kills की जाएगा bro. अरे
यार
आप भी खेल रहे जीत गए ब्रो. ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं खेल रहे हो रहे.
ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं खेल रहे यार ये कर सकता था इजी हो सकता था उन पे ऑपरेटर्स भी आ गए भाई देखो इजी विन हो सकता था ये बहुत इजीली हो सकता था बट इन लोगों ने
पॉइंट्स नहीं दिया ना पॉइंट्स कैप्चर ही नहीं किया.
हाँ वही तो इनका स्नाइपिंग बहुत तगड़ा है कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
First two kills are good. Second tick of progress getting locked. Godlike, they have to give this up unless Trunks can find something through our window. He's the only defender that can maybe do something. Peg has already gotten deep in towards Kitchen. It's all fumbling. It's all coming apart so quickly. Third tick of progress is going to get locked. They're going to get 2 minutes and 20 seconds with 29 lives.
Not like this. Pred missile in the back pocket of Neon. Operator still available for Zai.
देख रहे हो ये साले कैसे होल्ड करके बैठा
है. 27 plays up against 26. Nice.
Learn कर रहा है learn.
Trying to rectify the map positioning that they once had is now starting to fall through their fingertips once again.
अभी बढ़िया कर रहा है अभी बढ़िया कर रहा है.
I get that you're trying to move spawns around over towards garage, but you've got Wolves members
अरे यार.
the exact same thing. Big 1v1 here. Peg takes it.
ये वाला भी कैप्चर करे है ना.
नहीं ट्रंक्स वो लिया ट्रंक्स लिया ट्रंक्स के कर लिया.
Stabilize just a touch. Neon calls into Pred. Not going to land for any kills. Except, pardon me, it does find lurkers inside Tiki. Jing up top. Finds himself a sniper rifle to support this play from the front side. 25 plays 19. Wolves already at the front door. Still finding kills. One more member to get a pull. Now they're on. Annihilator out. So clutch for his squad.
Neutrino
आ गया war machine के साथ.
Will be locked.
Neutrino को big kills आ गया bro.
Chance to still come off spawn. Peg an issue, but does get dealt with. 12 plays 22. Clock continues to tick.
अरे घुस जा यार भाई वो वहाँ पे क्या देख रहा है बैक
बहुत रस खेल दिया इन लोगों
ने जो इजी हो सकता था यार लास्ट में जो विन इजी हो सकता था इन्होंने उसको खराब किया
Didn't even have to play LG. The unexpected rival on the other side of the stage could not hold the candle. Wolves are going to be your COD Mobile 2023 World Champions.
जीत गए
अरमा बोला
चलो यार कोई
ना जीत गए. चल लास्ट ऑन लर्नर ने उसे कैप्चर करने के लिए तो हो गया था ब्रो मैच.
हाँ वो कैप्चर कर लेता तो हो जाता इजीली हो जाता
ब्रो.
वो लर्न पे को तो उनका रोटेशन निकल जाता था.
4 जीत गए साले ना.
नहीं उसका लर्न है ना. लर्न उसका फुटबॉल है और अबीज है उनका बार है और दोनों में से एक ही है. नो बड़ी कैप्चरिंग है.
हाँ वही तो कोई कैप्चर नहीं किया.
कोई भी कैप्चर नहीं है. उसके एक ही पर्सन कैप्चर हो गए तो हो गए.
जीत जाते यार जीत जाते थे अगर उन्होंने एंड में ना किल पे नहीं गए होते तो वो कैप्चर कर लेते.
गुड प्ले. सेकंड प्लेस आ गए.
इंडिया का सेकंड प्लेस था बट फर्स्ट होता तो ज्यादा वो था.
Good play, bro.
Well done, guys.
And now on the international stage, surrounded by a bunch of their compatriots, one more time, your 2023 champions.
मतलब ये अमेरिका वाले इतना हेट करते हैं इंडिया को कि वो चाइना के सपोर्ट में बोल ही लेंगे. पूरा चाइना का चाट लेंगे कोई दिक्कत नहीं बट इंडिया को चाटना ना पड़े बस.
जल्दी है ना इन लोगों की.
हो सकता था अगर वहाँ पे लर्न अगर वो थोड़ा सा देख ले तो हो जाता निकाल।
उन लोग का बस माइंडसेट ऐसा है कि थोड़ा सा गरीब टाइप का कंट्री है, बस वो व्लॉग में भी देखोगे ना वो हमेशा यही दिखाते हैं।
खरीद लेगा भाई।
कुछ भी कहो सब कुछ एक तरफ 7-0 एक तरफ।
हाँ 7-0 वो 7-0 भाई।
वो मजे में ना नहीं बोलूंगा, वो मजा आया
अलग लेवल
है उन लोगों का, जो मारा गया उन लोगों का। बस
7-0 अलग लेवल चीज है भाई।
Wolves, fantastic job. A pleasure to watch this squad.
वही है असली खुशी।
I'm gonna get on in here.
Okay bro, bye, good night. Good night GG's bro.
Good night guys. Good night.
Bye-bye.
See you guys tomorrow on the stream. Bye.
बाय।
ये डिस्कॉर्ड बंद हो रहा है क्या?
हाँ।
Good night.
A great moment for sure.
Good night भाई. Good night.
Congratulations to this
Good night.
squad. An arduous journey. All right, friends, I want to get in here. I'm going to ask you the first question. You guys came through, and it looked fantastic. The past couple of years, North America takes the championships. What does it mean to bring the championships home to China?
你们这次打得非常的精彩，在过去的2年中都是北美获得冠军。对于你来说，这一次中国获得冠军意味着什么呢？
其实这次的冠军意味着就是我们东方是不比西方差的。
Okay boys, that was okay. Gordon बढ़िया खेला था。
没有继续交到手吧，但是我觉得今晚不管怎么样都是我们东方的胜利。
We just proved that us East is not worse than the West. Although it was kind of sad that we didn't get to play against LG, but tonight's victory belongs to the East.
I'm coming down over here now. A lot of talk about the East and their performances. Going against godlike team out of India, also from the East, nobody really expected them not only to get here, but play as well as they did. What can you say about the performance out of your opponents from across the stage?
我们今天打的是另外一支来自东方的队伍 Godlike。他们没有人预料到他们打得如此之强。那今天我们跟他交手下来，有什么样的感受呢？
他们的枪法和个人实力确实非常的优秀。他们能赢 LG 其实是在我预料之中的，因为这次 LG 失利其实是因为他们自己的自负造成的。
They executed greatly and had amazing gunplay. They played great individually, and I even expected them to win against LG, and it was a great matchup to play against them.
Love to hear the respect coming out from these guys. And then, if you can excuse me, I want to ask one over here. Coming here now, looking at your team, you guys played fantastically. Who on your squad did the heavy lifting? Who's the MVP?
这一次我们赢得比赛，功劳最大的是谁呢？
我觉得没有分谁的功劳最大，我们5个人的功劳都很大。
It was no individual effort. It was a team effort, and it took the 5 of us to win this game.
Perfect. And one last question. What does the future of Call of Duty Mobile look like in your eyes?
在你眼里，使命召唤手游的未来是什么样子的呢？
我觉得今天我们呈现的比赛非常精彩，我觉得以后的比赛会更加的精彩。
We played a fantastic match today, and we expect the future matches to be even more fantastic.
Well, it certainly looked like it for sure. Thank you so much for your performance. You guys earned this. Ladies and gentlemen, your champions, Wolves.
Talk about a fantastic performance, a great way to close out the entire weekend. Back up here on the desk to close the whole thing out. You guys just got to experience all of that. What's going through your heads right now?
I have a lot of emotions, not enough to be able to conclude in about a minute's worth of a segment, but look, obviously Wolves are your champions. But still, you gotta feel like that Godlike really left it all out there today, man. I mean, what a championship run for them. Commiserations, of course, to Godlike, but Wolves clearly came in as the #1 team.
Yeah, I think that's by and far away the point. You know, we had all of these anticipations about what the Chinese search and destroy scene was going to be able to provide advantage-wise for them, and they utilized that here in this series. But only giving up 3 rounds of search and destroy through 2 maps. I don't want to sit there and say that the result would have been any different on the meltdown. It's hard to say. It's all going to be left to speculation and foreshadowing at this point. But I think the biggest thing is the regain coming off of the standoff on the control, finding domination in the Hacienda hardpoint, and then carrying that through the Tunisia, and then clutching up when it mattered most there in that round 5.
Well, we heard F.Dot ask about it. Which player was a standout player? You know, they gave the very wholesome answer. It was a team effort, and they're not wrong. It was a team effort. But if you two had to pick a standout player from Wolves, who would your answer be?
I'm kind of torn. I first and foremost, Neon had an unbelievable playoff bracket. That's to be told. But I think the thing about it is there's also something intangible about looking at the stats and seeing the amount of engagements that
Okay, boys. It's time to end the stream and all.
He may not have been top fragging in the last couple of days.
मोए हो गया हम लोगों के साथ, but it's okay. Okay, bye.
To kind of clutch up when it comes to a lot of their respawn.